All right, it's your boy Spank Dog, aka Puffinstein at YouTube. Like, comment, share, subscribe. You already know. Let's get right into it. All right, so we're gonna politic for a second in the lobby before I get started on the video. I just seen something on Daniel Bergoli. The girl who was famous for saying "Catch Me Outside." How about that on the Dr. Phil show? And she turned out to be an amazing artist. And all that stuff on the Dr. Phil show, that was all about him getting bread. The moms wanting to go on a show, and she was kind of like, the centerpiece without really even making a decision. She was like 14 at the time. But yo, big shout out to her. I think she goes by Bad Baby now. And yeah, man, big shout to her. I heard her the other day. She was speaking and she was on some real morality type stuff. And goes to show you, man, sometimes people look like they're headed in the wrong direction. And those will be the people that'll come out of nowhere and do the coolest thing you've ever seen in your life. You know what I'm saying? Like, so big shout out to her. I just wanted to get that off my chest because I finished watching something just now about her. And we about to get into it. Like I said, I just wanted to chill in the lobby for a second. I'm about to launch all the segments in a second. I always got my collectibles on me. See Scotty Barnes right there. You know, let me change the screen real quick. Yeah, this way you can see them better. Yeah, man, I love my collectibles. I don't really need to do YouTube to have a salary. You get what I'm saying? Like I do this because I love to do it. There's certain things that just always intrigued me to like a major extent. Like hip hop. I remember listening to hip hop tapes when I was 7 years old, 8 years old. UTFO, Melly Mel and the Furious Five. Like I literally owned those tapes when I was a kid. And I would listen to them. There was this one verse on the Melly Mel and the Furious Five. No, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. I get them confused, but Melly Mel and let me look it up this way. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to. What was the name of Melly Mel's group? The Furious Five. See, I was right. I like to look things up. I don't like to say something that's not correct and just keep going. If I really think I don't understand it, I'll try to look it up real quick. But I remember me and my brother and my father writing a rhyme literally when we still lived on Ralph, and I didn't move from Ralph till I was 8 years old. So that means the rhyme had to be written when I was like 6 or 7 years old. That means that it was 1983. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's crazy. And we jumped ship on the rhyme. Like we was like, you know what, we give up. And I never wrote a rhyme again until 7 or 8 years later. And that was when I wrote the first rhyme when I decided to try to become an MC. And at the beginning it wasn't even that. It was just seeing what would happen. And then I wrote rhymes for 30 plus years. That's a real thing. But my point is that when I like something or I love something, and it's really that thing, basketball. If a lot of you guys would see me ball out, you would be like, he could play, like he could really play, and like, there was guys at the park that were like sick. So like big shout out to Eli, big shout out to Dave, you know what I'm saying? And those are my boys too. Like I love them dudes, you know what I'm saying? And Dave and Eli, big shout out to Sam too. You know what I'm saying? Um, he was this. I know a kid that might have the best dribble I've ever seen in my life, and that includes everybody. N1 mixtape, NBA, everything. So I have not only am I talented at basketball, I have friends that are mega talented at basketball. We used to play with this kid who went Division 1 college basketball. I mean, he wasn't a kid, he was a man. I remember them playing in the Bushwick 2 Center. His name was Corey Williams. Man, you see him play in person, you understand why Division 1 college basketball is special. You know what I'm saying? And he would have had a chance to go to the NBA. You know what I'm saying? I think when he was younger, he was messing around or whatever, and I think he got shot, and it stunted his growth regarding basketball. But I don't know his story like that, so I ain't really gonna get into that. But he used to come up and play, and it would be like everybody would want to play, because he was that good. You know, there's a guy, right? What's his name again? There's a guy that I'm gonna cover coming soon. What is it again? Leaky. Oh man, Leaky Roof. He's good. I mean, he's really good. Like, there's times where you see him play, and he's playing with people that aren't on his level at all. But he's amazing. Big shout out to Leaky Roof. You know what I'm saying? So we about to get started. I'm about to start bringing up the segments. You know what I'm saying? Yo, if you're in here, hey, where'd you go? I was gonna say, if you come in here, drop a comment, man. It's crazy. It's like, hey, wait, don't go nowhere. All right, so like I said, we're gonna keep it going. Let me share the screen. We're gonna get into the Austin Reaves highlights first. Yo, listen, man, the Lakers got a shot. What's crazy? I forgot that one of the first segment is about sports. You know what I'm saying? Look, man, Kevin Porter Jr. still got a chance, man. I had to grab that ink. Right now, he's like 22nd in the world, but he barely got any games. You know what I'm saying? But I seen the autographs for like $6-7. They were at $50, $60, $70. When he first came out, they were 100 plus. So this same exact card that you see right here, if it's his rookie year, it's got to be a rookie year. But if one of these is his rookie year autograph, it was above $100 at first. Matter of fact, here goes one right here. This one right here, this Kevin Porter. This Kevin Porter Jr. This was because I think this is his rookie card. I'm not certain, because that's usually, well, they have two kinds. They have the rookie version, and the hot, what does it say? I'll tell you right now. Man, I need glasses. Hot signatures. Yeah, I don't think this is the rookie one. Well, but anyway, if it was the rookie one, it could have been upwards of $200. When Kevin Porter Jr. first came out, he was highly anticipated. He caught a gun charge. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what college he went to, but when he came out of college, or while it definitely wasn't while he was in college. It can't be, because they wouldn't. I don't think they would have drafted him. But he ended up catching a gun charge, I think, when he was in the NBA, or headed to the NBA after being drafted. And then he also got injured, so he disappeared for a second. But then he's on the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, if you know about basketball, Damian Lillard tore his Achilles, and they need a guy to step up. And they got a young talent in Kevin Porter Jr. He's averaging 22 points a game. Last time I looked, he was averaging 22 points a game, 7 rebounds, 5 assists on 50% shooting. Good enough to get him like the 25th spot in the world, by ESPN rankings. But that's what you do. Don't go by points per game. Do not rate your players by points per game. definitely rate your player by the overall, tally of all their statistics, and you get the rating. ESPN rating is the best one in my opinion. And when you see a person at whatever number they are on the ESPN ratings, that's what they are. That's them taking all the stats into consideration. So without further ado, let's get into the basketball. Austin Reaves is a problem. Austin Reeves, DeAndre Ayton, Rui Hachimura, LeBron James, Luka Doncic, they have a shot at winning the title. We got a Knicks fan talking because I'm hoping we win the title. And then Luka is my favorite player and LeBron too. So I'm hoping the Lakers, if not the Knicks. Then we got people that I got a lot of their rookie cards and autographs, like Nikola Jokic. I don't mind if he wins. I was buying his ink for cheap, not cheap, and that's what's crazy. You got to make a decision. When a person's doing good like Jokic, the autographs were 60. I bought a few. I got like 20 autographs of him and they shot through the roof. And I got lucky, you know what I'm saying? But that's why I tell you too, like when I'm up here, it's not out of necessity. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing my thing with the cards. That's why I try to tell people, like, I don't, like a lot of people are judgmental, and for some reason, if a person sees any sort of desperation, but then the crazy thing is that people act like they've never been desperate in their life or nervous. Everybody wants to do good. So for you to look at a person and see that they could be nervous or you might even be assuming they're nervous and they're not, but let's say they are. You've never been nervous before. Everybody's been nervous before. You know, I know dudes that, man, listen, I know rock hard dudes that don't flinch ever, never. And even they've been nervous. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna get into Austin Reaves, man. I'm gonna tell you something that's amazing about Austin Reaves. This dude got Luka Doncic on his team, and Luka Doncic is always neck and neck with Jokic. And it's harder for him to be neck and neck with Jokic because Jokic plays a more closer to the basket game. So he's always going to have a higher field goal percentage. He rebounds more. So he's always going to have more rebounds. And the wild thing, though, that makes Jokic special is he shouldn't have more assists than Luka. But Luka's a special, special player. I think he's the best in the world. Right now, Jokic is owning that title. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander's another one. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown was better than people thought. Jaylen Brown is averaging almost 30 points a game right now. And they thought he couldn't do it, but when Jason Tatum got hurt, there's a lot more opportunity. He's killing it. Big shout out to Jaylen Brown, JB. It was funny when he made fun of Isaiah Stewart the other day. That was so funny. All right, Austin Reeves highlights. Let's get to it. You're gonna see how bad this kid playing with Luka and LeBron is. They got themselves the talent. And then to top it off, like I said, DeAndre Ayton and Rui Hachimura. DeAndre Ayton was the number one pick, and Rui Hachimura was somewhere in the top 10. I think he was like fifth, sixth, seventh. Let's get it going. Let me full screen this bad boy. Yeah, man. Drop a comment. Oh man, my computer's gonna crash. Yo, this is amazing. My computer crashed because I had a program open that is very powerful. It's my editing tool. And the editing tool makes my computer crash. I gotta make sure to have my fan on while I edit my videos. I gotta make sure the fan is hitting the back of my computer. That's how powerful these editing tools are. So I was editing, I forgot to turn it off. And since I forgot to turn it off and I went to do my live, the computer overheated and it just shut down on me, right? So what's wild is, right, I said, yo, computers are crazy, because when I was outside, my phone dropped connection with my StreamYard. So it picked the connection back up and it just kept on going. So when I lost connection just now because my computer crashed, I said it always asks me if I want to restore the pages when I get back, because the computer's good. It's just, listen, guys, you got to really look into your computer, especially if you're going to be a content creator. Not just any computer is going to cut it, especially if you're trying to buy one with $200 just because it says it's got 12 gigabytes of RAM. The processor is what matters too. You know what I could do to fix the problem? I'm going to do it today. I'm going to buy one of those cooling pads. That's what I need. For people like me who has a computer that overheats when they're editing, get yourself a cooling pad. It'll fix the problem. I'm going to do it immediately. This is driving me crazy. So, but in my head, I'm like, computers are so off the hook right now. I'm like, I wouldn't be surprised if I could get back into my actual live. But in my head, I'm like, there's no way, right? I'm like, just go for it. I boot the computer back up as quick as possible, which is dangerous because, mind you, it needs a second to cool off. So I reboot the computer as soon as possible. And sure enough, when I just say launch the Google browser. So I launched Google Chrome real quick. And sure enough, it says restore pages. I hit restore pages. And it literally asked me if I want to go back into my StreamYard studio. Excuse me. And I'm like, yeah. And it inserted me back into the same exact live with the time running. I don't know what it did for those few minutes, but it kept the live active. I didn't have to restart the live or nothing. Yo, computers are crazy. That is so dope. All right, now let's definitely get into the other video. Let's watch Austin Reaves tear it up. All right, hopefully you couldn't hear that. Let me put it on this screen because you get a full screen. All right, guys, listen, Austin Reaves is a bad dude. Luka Doncic and LeBron James got themselves a treat, All right, let's watch.
Three, no, tap, still loose, taken by Reaves. Behind the back he goes.
There we go.
Reaves to James.
Austin Love.
You see that around the back? Look at the way he threw a hook shot out. It's like a hook shot out.
They trail by as many as 10.
LeBron.
The biggest lead was 1.
Ooh, Austin Reaves with the spin move around the back.
Really throw it down with some.
Oh, Austin Reaves special there.
Look
All
at
set
this.
up
The spin
by
move.
Austin Reaves.
Look at that. That's nasty.
That is nice.
Yeah, that is.
This kid is good, man. I'm telling you. I used to see when Anthony Davis, yeah, he was there, I think, for a second while Austin Reaves was there, but it was after they won the championship. He came in 2021, Austin Reaves. And I know the Lakers won that bubble championship before he arrived. But when he would play with Anthony Davis and LeBron James, he would get 20 points a game. And I used to be like, how's he getting 20 points a game when they're averaging above 20 points per game? And then when Luka Doncic got hurt, that's when Austin Reaves showed out. You know what I'm saying? Like 35 points a game. Then I'm like, this ain't gonna last. He kept averaging 35 points a game until Luka Doncic got back. And even when Luka Doncic got back, he held the average for a second. Even though now it's down to like, I forget what it is, something like 26, 27 points per game. He's amazing, though.
Has been asked to do a lot in lieu of a lot of injuries.
Blocked by D'Lo. Yeah, defense, offense. Behind the BG, how about that?
He's so unselfish, man. You got to find your opportunity when you're playing with LeBron James, Luka Doncic, you know, even DeAndre Ayton. You know what I'm saying? And it's nasty.
Nice roll, but look at the defense by D'Lo and the Lakers offense run. Look at this pass. Left hand, good vision.
Seconds to go. And a trip to Vegas on the line. 6-second difference. Reaves. Oh, yeah!
Crossover and then a three-pointer. That's off the dribble, man. You know, for anybody who plays basketball, you know off the dribble is harder than a set jump shot. So when you know you don't put the ball down, you'll most likely have a better rhythm. You don't expend energy. You know, you see them hit them with the crossover, then hit the three-pointer. That's one thing they used to tell point guards, don't dance with the rock. Just minimize your dribbling and get a shot off without even dribbling if possible. That's not the case now.
Lakers lead by 4.
Full extension.
Well, you thought it was going to be LeBron.
On 9 field goals for Minnesota. They are sharing
Austin.
Westbrook over to Reaves, who can hit on the 3. Behind the back pass, and Gabriel with the finish.
Listen, he loves those around the back passes. All 4 highlights, 3 of them have been around the back passes.
They really like Austin Reaves, undrafted.
Again, Austin Reaves.
That's around the back pass.
Is back to William Gabriel.
I don't know if it was a pass.
Johnson catches, fires. Airball, DiVincenzo blocked by
Anthony
Davis.
Davis with the block.
Final seconds, Reaves. It'll count if it goes. Oh, he puts it in from half court at the
He's that good, bro. Really that good. You know, also, you see Michael Porter Jr., right? Michael Porter Jr. was smart. He was coming off an injury. He said, you know what? I'm going to ride it out with the Nuggets. He ended up getting a ring with Jokic, Aaron Gordon, and Jamal Murray. Now he's on the New Jersey Nets. And after being in the league for 6 years, I believe he felt confident enough to go to a team where there's no stars and show everybody he could be a star. He's averaging 26 points a game. I think Austin Reaves, when whatever happens, you know, if he don't mind being the third option after Luka and LeBron, you know, there's a chance he's like a tie for second and third option with LeBron. But there's a chance he could go to a team and be the first option. He's that good. Get that out of here.
The NBA's best shot blocker.
There we go.
And then Reaves. 3 of his 13 points here in the first half. A dramatic end.
It was just 2 of 14 from 3 since he returned from that injury.
Here we go. The move again.
Reaves in traffic.
Left hand.
Over the top of the rim.
That was nasty.
That was a heck of a play. Not sure how he was able to.
Not lefty. You got to make sure you have enough strength in your hand. I'm going to look to see if I got any Austin Reaves cards right there. I'm going to leave it playing for a second.
Jones with it. Pass it out. Reaves for 3. He got it.
He's nasty.
Lakers going to have to foul and try to implement the steal. And they take it away. There you go. Reaves with it. Reaves on the run.
Go ahead, baby. That's how you do it.
Told you.
He's a hustler. Yo, I've become an Austin Reaves fan, man. It's crazy. He's good. He's more than good. He's great.
Down. Not going to get a call in there. It's going to be assumed. And then Reaves.
For the first 5 games of the season, he was in the top 5 players in the world. Then all the way even past that, like Luka, I think Luka came back when he was on like his 7th game, he was averaging 35 points when Luka came back for 7 games. That's a big sample size.
The heck of a game just goes right by. 45. Well, they were 11 of 11 in that third quarter.
Oh man, they're around the back.
Inside and he puts it in.
He's
See,
relentless.
That time you go for gambles, you
He
steal.
gets it however you gotta get it.
Career highs in
Steals,
points,
hustle
rebounds,
plays.
and assists.
Look at that mixing. Do the legs.
Shaking
Do
and
the
baking
legs.
tonight, folks.
Do the
Tries
legs.
to draw the foul and drops
Hard
it home
shot.
instead.
Ooh, high degree of
28
difficulty.
points.
Man, I want to rewind that. I want to see that again. We mixed all over him.
Reaves inside and he puts
Here
it
we
in.
go. This is it right here.
That time
Ready?
you go for gambles, you steal and you allow the guy to go around you. Stay in front. Career highs
You
in
ready? Look. 1,
points,
2,
rebounds,
3,
and
4,
assists.
5, 6.
He's shaking and baking tonight, folks.
6 times through the leg.
And drops it home instead.
And then hit a hard shot with
28
defense all over him. Look at Anthony Davis. They love him. Go ahead, Austin. Look at that. Oh, man, with a handle in his face.
Boy, Austin Reaves.
Hold on to your hats, folks. Training for World Cup in North America has begun. And you would not believe what these guys are up to.
2026 is the year AI becomes mandatory at work. Start learning now or stay.
Listed at 6'5",
Wow.
It's Anthony Davis and Cole Swider for the Lakers.
You
see him now, you don't.
That's the Jordan. That's the way he put his back. Remember on the Knicks? I could do it. I could do that move so good. Oh man, I'm nasty with that one. You know, watch when he hits. He puts his back like he's gonna spin, and then he comes back the other way. It's a classic move. You know, but it's vicious if you know how to do it. That's a baseline move.
Everybody in the arena bought that fake.
Of course, Steph. Woo! Get him. Man, he was that short.
Shot clock at 7.
Crossover, ran the back and the crossover.
Did Reaves come
On
on?
through the legs. I crossover with Allen
That's a
Iverson.
highlight.
Guarding him on the edge. 10 on the shot clock. Westbrook. It's a cutting James. Out
Here
to
we go.
Reaves for 3. Got it.
All right, look, I'm gonna let it play real quick. I gotta go check to make sure my door is locked. My son is wild. I gotta go check real quick. Let me how you do that again? Okay, there you go. All right, I'm gonna leave it playing just for a split second. I'll be right back.
The rookie, Austin Reaves.
Well, this guy has proven fearless, Mark. You were talking.
Reaves goes away from the screen, puts Powell on the deck, and hits the shot.
Well, there's going to be a highlight of that. I'm sure we'll show it, but many part of the clock. But he'll get into his action right now. Reaves long distance. Got it! He got it! Austin for 3. Austin bails him out, I'm telling you, because that shot clock.
Davis still looks like he's hobbled a little bit. The Lakers have never led tonight. They've been down by as many as 19, and they keep on coming. Reaves to the cup.
Anthony Davis still hobbling a little bit to me. D'Angelo Russell.
Boy, Reaves accelerates, goes right for the teeth of the defense. And the door is still open for the Lakers.
I'd call a timeout right here. You need to regroup. You need a bucket right here.
Reaves, deep shot.
And the team can get out in transition. They'll burn you from 3. 11 of 38 for the Bucks.
There comes Reaves on the acceleration, and that is a thing of beauty. Lakers trying to work quickly. Dinwiddie, the kick. Reaves, baseline, and we're tied.
Get a touch here. I know this has been all guard dominated here down the stretch, but let AD get a touch here.
Reaves, deep shot for the Lakers. Austin Reaves, as we get a foul with 30.5 left.
Miscommunication between Damian Lillard and Malik Beasley. Should have been a switch.
Schroeder gives it right back. Reaves. Oh my goodness. What an acrobatic move by Austin Reaves. Delivers it.
And that's against the #1 shot blocker in the NBA.
We'll send it to left corner Gaganard. Keep an eye on if they can get some back out of Christian Wood. It could be significant off the bench.
Yeah, going down.
Very significant.
Yeah, going down to the 2, Mike.
Can you get a rewind? Can you get a rewind?
We'll send it to left corner Gaganard. Keep an eye on if they can get some back out of Christian Wood. It could be significant off the bench.
Yeah, going down. Very significant.
Yeah, going down to the 2, Mike. A 3 for 3 at the other end. Here come the Lakers with more.
He just takes it behind his back there. It makes a very, very nice play out of it. LeBron said, "How do you do that?"
Won over a lot of people in LA with his defense, but Thompson gets right past. Oh, what a block by Reaves! Great recovery, and Monk comes out of the pack. Monk on the drive, left-handed.
Wow.
That's why you never give up on a play. Winning 13 of their last 16 games, the best mark in the league during that 16-game run.
Let's go.
Shot clock inside of 10. Deep 3 Reaves.
Man.
Austin Reaves with his fourth 3, 37 points.
11. Oh, no, it's still on number 12. I don't know
Still
why.
on the bench for Indiana. Another turnover. Reaves with the slam.
The top.
39 points. 2023 and 2024 will not be an all-star next week in San Francisco. Reaves lob. Hayes catch and finish. What a look by Austin Reaves.
Screen set for a clean 3. That's as good a look as you can get to Rick Carlisle.
Especially with the guy that shoots it the way he does. Reaves again. Weaving through traffic. Banking it in. 41 points
so hard.
Shot attempts.
Yo, salute.
Showing you everything.
Salute to
About time he's going to turn to the crowd and ask him, are you not entertained?
I'm going to tell you
Austin
something.
Reaves
Austin
getting the
Reaves.
I have to think that if Doncic and James are available Monday, that the closing lineup's going to look a little different than it is right now.
Austin Reaves is
Austin Reaves will be out there. He's got 43.
So far in the game, as we've got under 5 minutes to play.
Look, man, guys, just so you know, Austin Reaves is undrafted. You know what I'm saying? You could tell he's high IQ. There's big moments, and he shines like they're not that serious. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's really good. You know, serious production. He don't put up minor numbers in no category. He puts up a considerable amount of rebounds, a considerable amount of assists, and he can flat out score. You know what I'm saying? And it's not no hype, not because he's with LA, not because LeBron's there, not because Luka's there. He's just nasty. Like I said, on another team, I think he might be able to be a franchise cornerstone. If they could win the chip with him, I don't know about that, but I think he could be the #1 option on a team, especially a team with not a lot of stars. You know what I'm saying? And he fits well into almost any system. It's crazy. I've never seen Austin Reaves look bad, except for his earlier years a little bit, remember, but that's when he's gaining confidence. You know what I'm saying?
Play a little push off. Oh, running the floor of the trailer. Throw it down, big guy.
Expecting the whistle to
That ain't about Austin Reaves. That's about Anthony Davis.
be blown on that one. But look at that pass. Wow. Looks like he has eyes in the back.
Drive the lane, and he just turned it over, lost the ball. Numbers for the Lakers. Reaves alley-oop. Oh, James!
What up, man? He was look at I love the hook shot alley-oop. The hook shot alley-oop is crazy.
35 points.
Bain around Davis to Tillman. Knocked away by LeBron. Reaves. 2-on-2 Reaves. The trailing James floating and getting it. Here's the steal.
You know, stick with me for a second. I'm going to hook up a screen right in front of you guys. You know, because I like this screen because it gives you guys more screen. So what I'm going to do is let me, I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but I'm going to edit my layout. I'll teach you guys a little something real quick. If you could see it, I'm going to add the item. I'm going to put the media slot, right? So now you guys can enjoy this even more. Now you'll be able to see Austin Reaves really go crazy. All right, that's about as that's as big as it gets without me cutting myself out of the equation. Let me save that. Update layout. All right, now you guys get a better view of the highlights.
Block right here by LeBron. But look at Reaves.
There we go.
Look at that.
And look at that. He's
Five on the
so
shot
beautiful.
clock.
The highlights. I'm ready to watch.
3-second difference from game clock to shot clock. That's all.
You believe
There's
this?
the follow-up.
Or for LeBron James missed. He's tagged dunk.
4 in double figures.
LeBron misses.
This, but here comes Reaves. No one putting a body on him. Free rim run.
That people don't know about Austin Reaves. He's 6'5". He's not short. He looks short because he's a real point guard. So he's always at that point guard position. It gives the illusion of he's the little guy. He's not. He's just not as tall as LeBron and Anthony Davis and Rui Hachimura. Even though I think Rui Hachimura is closer to size than him, but DeAndre Ayton is way taller than him.
Unable to get the putback.
He's going to drive it right against Reddish and threw it away, intended for Nembhard.
Here we go. I told you.
And Hachimura the dunk. There's
I
another.
told you earlier. I said he loves that around the back pass. That's like the 4th time, 5th time he has a highlight where he does that.
Instance where we're
not getting back defensively, and that's the challenge up here. Hachimura gets it. You gotta find.
Payton's back in. He picked up 2 quick fouls. Reaves behind the back, throws the
The
foul.
monster.
Got it and one.
The monster.
What a play from Reaves.
And the real crazy thing is that a lot of the, not to be about race or color, but just, to make a point, he's one of the real American white people that is killing it. Like, I think Cooper Flagg is also American born. Austin Reaves is American born. But, a lot of the guys that we seen that were blowing up were guys like Dirk Nowitzki, Luka Doncic, Jokic, and a lot of them were coming from Europe. But, now we're seeing American born players, whether they're white, African American. I'm telling you, basketball is universal. You're going to see more cultures come into the NBA. And that's what I like, especially it doesn't matter if they're American born or born in another country. The whole world should play basketball. It should be global. It's the most global sport besides soccer. Baseball, they play in other countries. Football, they don't only play anywhere but the U.S. So
Reaves had a chance for a 3-point play.
Curry, allow me to have this dance. Austin Powers, the crossover behind the back, takes the contact.
He's a gem.
Yeah.
When he started doing what he was doing at the beginning of the year, I started buying his rookie cards. But when I went to go buy the rookie cards, other people had already noticed what he was doing, and he started going up really fast. So I paused because I knew Luka was coming back and his stats would drop. I'm going to wait till they let him drop because he's the 3rd option, and I'm gonna grab some stuff of his.
Same trip to the line.
No. Different trip to the line. Air balls.
Huh. Pride of Newark, Arkansas. Look at that.
Yeah.
Ice flying. Watch yourself. Those cocktails aren't cheap here at Crypto.com, ladies.
Don't act like you shot.
If it gets
Get the
knocked
company
out,
card out here, especially with top 40.
They don't look like that. You're not supposed to be.
Here he goes to the rim. The fake, the turn, the
It's
shot,
hard
the
shot.
score.
It's really a monster out there. It's hard shot.
Casey.
Reaves, 6 in the quarter, too. 6 of the 8 belong to Austin. During that key stretch in the first half, brought the Lakers back after they were down by 14. Reaves again handling the ball.
Go ahead, Reeves. Let's go up and under. That's what you call the Kevin McHale. For all you young dudes out there that don't know about basketball like that, Kevin McHale, when Larry Bird and them won like 4 rings or whatever, 3 rings, Kevin McHale, that was his patented move, the up and under, and he does it beautifully, right?
Open the score.
Teams have struggled with that smaller lineup. They have fared much
There you
better
go.
with DeAndre Ayton on the floor.
Look at that.
Sabonis was in trouble
Back
coverage,
mode.
and Reaves drops the jumper.
All right, let's do it again.
Sabonis
Go
held to the
around the
level on that
screen.
ball screen. They
Step
slowed
back.
it down. Reaves not slowing down anytime
Nasty.
soon. He's got a 42-piece cooking.
42 points.
Reaves on the wide pin. Working against
Oh,
Schroeder.
in his face.
Got right in his
All
retina.
over him.
What a tough shot
What a
by
tough
Austin
shot.
Reaves. Almost got a 5. Reaves,
Yeah,
5 on the
Reeves.
shot
What
clock.
you got for us?
Throws up a
Change his
wild
mind
shot.
over there.
It's been that type of night. A miraculously magical one for Austin Reaves. Another bucket, and that'll do it. A disheartening defeat against the Los Angeles Lakers tonight as a jubilant Lakers squad taking part in
50
Reeves' career high 51.
I knew it was a 50-piece. Big shout out to Zach Levine. That's my homie. I'm glad he's back playing.
Austin Reaves turned up the bass tonight.
50, man. Yo, Jalen Brunson still hasn't dropped 50. You get what I'm saying? The highest game Brunson was the other day, 47 points. Brunson's a monster, you know, but Austin Reaves got that 50 piece, and you know, I think they're similar players actually, you know, and I think Austin Reaves is blessed to be 3 inches taller than Jalen Brunson.
James using the screen. He's covered. Reaves has it. 5 seconds to go. Reaves on the drive. Inside layup. He banks it
Look
in.
at this on
With
the
1
Christmas
second
Day
remaining. No
game.
timeouts.
Take the lead.
Here comes Curry. Launches at 3/4 court. Oh, off the mark.
That's
And the
wild.
Lakers win it.
Yo, the Christmas Day games are special, and he hit the game-winning shot, and Steph too and he beat Steph.
Thriller.
Look, they love him.
Austin Reaves with a brilliant game. A
He's
triple-double
so
in the game
underrated.
winner.
It's crazy.
James doubled. Finds Ellington. Corner to Westbrook. Final seconds. Out to Reaves. Three-pointer. Bang! Reaves gives him a 3-point lead with
You gotta root for him.
9/10 of a second remaining. No timeouts for Dallas.
Again,
Pull up
another
from half-court.
dagger.
Oh, off the mark.
He's clutch too. I'm telling you, listen, man. You know, you see what it is. I always got cards in my hand. You know what I'm saying? I don't play when it comes to this card stuff. And I'm giving you a tip. If Austin Reaves goes down in price, he's already cheap, actually. Go get yourself some. He's not going to be on the Lakers forever. You know, he's going to end up on a team that doesn't have many good players, and he's going to shine. You know, his autographs are expensive. He's undrafted. He didn't even get drafted out of the 60 draft picks, the 2 rounds. He didn't even get picked. He's what they call a signed free agent. You know, they actually picked him up, even though he wasn't drafted. They made a contract. They signed a contract on the offseason saying, we know you're good enough. You didn't get drafted, but we're going to give you a shot. Look at what he's doing, man. He might be one of the, it depends on his career goals, but if he keeps going like this, he's going to be known as the best undrafted player ever.
And the Lakers survive in overtime. What a finish here in Dallas.
And I thought he got fouled, too.
Austin
pass
Reaves,
from
what a
Westbrook, man.
game. 5 of 6 from three-point range.
Look at that
15
net,
points.
boy. Another dagger, too.
Hachimura wants it. He's
Look,
got Miranda
another
on him. Here
dagger.
comes the double team. Aldama.
Lakers are up.
Hachimura kicks it out
They
to an
need-
open Reaves for 3.
Puts it
They
in
get
as the
6
shot
minutes
clock
left. They
expires.
put them up 4.
And I'm still okay if Hachimura's the shooter.
Reaves fakes.
Look at this.
Reaves behind
4
the back.
minutes left.
Hachimura, three-pointer. Puts
Nice
it in.
pass.
Rui Hachimura.
Rui, I like
Everybody
Rui
said he's okay
Hachimura.
with Hachimura taking the
Nice.
shot. I call
Rui
this a
strong.
Rui awakening.
Shoot
The
that
greatness
free
of
Reaves with that behind-the-back pass on the money. And Reaves on the money with the jump shot. 16 for Reaves. He continues his terrific play. Lakers clinging to a 3-point lead. Grizzlies trying to win without Morant. Reaves a three. Reaves from way downtown. It's a 6-point.
Nice feeling. That's that emotion.
Reaves 21 points, 3 assists.
Here we
Gets
go.
inside.
Look at that
Off-balance jumper.
Loaded in the paint.
Austin Reaves in his first playoff game. He's got 23.
The Lakers got a shot. Granted, OKC, Denver Nuggets. I can't believe the Pistons are in first place in the East. The Knicks. Right now, the Knicks, the Nuggets, and the Oklahoma City Thunder are the problems that the Lakers will face. Now, I don't know if somebody else will come out of the Eastern Conference besides the Knicks or the Pistons even, but the Pistons, they're not built for what's going on in the West, I don't think, but the Knicks have a shot. The only team right now that I see having a shot at winning against the Western Conference team is the Knicks. And I never thought I would hear myself say that. I'm so happy because I'm a Knicks fan. But in the West, in the West, it's serious. If you go check out the West record, I'll check it out for you guys. Watch. Look at the records compared to the Western Conference and the Eastern Conference. Let me get the league standings for the NBA. All right, guys, I'm going to break it down real quick because this is important. You know, if I'm going to show highlights and talk about basketball, I might as well let you know where the team's at. Yo, Cade Cunningham. Big shout to Cade Cunningham. Who else on that Detroit Pistons team is going crazy? I know Isaiah Thomas is getting into a lot of... Isaiah Stewart is getting into a lot of arguments. Yo, Jaylen Brown did some hilarious stuff the other day to Isaiah Stewart. So, but anyway, whoever else is playing with Cade, they're killing it. 24-7. The matter of fact, I'll share the page real quick. All right, so you guys can see now, you know, the Eastern Conference. That's the whole Eastern Conference right there. If you notice, the Detroit Pistons are 24-7. You know, the New York Knicks are 22-9. The Boston Celtics are really good without Jason Tatum, and I'm not saying that like as a statement. I'm saying while Jason Tatum is gone, they are doing okay without his help. But what don't get it twisted. They won the ring with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. And to be fair, there's one of those because Jaylen Brown won Western Conference Finals MVP and the Finals MVP. One of those series, it was debatable whether Tatum should have got some love as the MVP. But I'm not crying. It is what it is. If you want to be the MVP, you got to separate yourself. If it's close, it's close. And it was close. Jaylen Brown, I wouldn't say Jaylen Brown didn't deserve it. Jaylen Brown is just the guy that didn't look like as superstarish as Jason Tatum. But now as I look at him play without Tatum, he's that dude. They won it because of each other. Jason Tatum was putting up sick numbers throughout the regular season. 10th in the world, while Jaylen Brown was all the way down at number 43 during regular season. So during regular season, when they won that ring, you know, Tatum carried them. You know, not carried them, but he had a good second option in Jaylen Brown. But now when you see what's going on, it makes you think, are they more equal than people thought? Did that fact that Jason Tatum was the bigger stat getter, that he was better than Tatum, but really Tatum was playing the game that needed to be played to get as far as possible? And not hating on Tatum, it's hard to watch another man that you know you're as good as, or think you're as good as, and you just play your role. Scottie Pippen is the most amazing teammate ever. While he really felt like he could have probably been as good as Jordan, he still played the second option role for 6 successful rings. No matter what anybody says, for Jordan to win those rings, Scottie Pippen has to accept the fact that Jordan is the number 1 option. All right, so let's do this real quick. Boston Celtics 19-11, Orlando Magic 18-14, Toronto Raptors 18-14, Philadelphia Sixers 16-13. Those are the top 6 teams in the East. If the playoffs started right now, those are the 6 teams that would be in the playoffs without having to play a play-in game. Now let's just go to the other conference real quick, and I'm gonna show you. You see the records on the Eastern Conference, 24-7, 22-9. Then it goes to 19-11. By the 4th team, you're already almost at a 500 percentage. Now, when you go to the Western Conference, you don't hit a 500 percentage until you hit the play-in team. All 6 teams that are going to make it to the playoffs without having to play a play-in game, if it ended right now and the playoffs started today, all 6 teams are above 600. So let's show you guys the records. First of all, it was looking like Oklahoma City had a shot at beating the Warriors record, but they dropped 4 games in the last. They lost 4 games in the last 10 games. Now, if they want to have a shot at that record, they need to get themselves back on like a 13, 14 game winning streak. I think they could do it. If they went 20, they started the season 23-1 or 24-1 or something like that. They can do it. They could get another streak going. They could make a run for that record, but they need to focus on the championship. That year that Steph and them broke the record, they didn't even win the ring. That's the year that LeBron came back from a 3-1 deficit like nobody has ever done in the NBA. You know, big shout out to the homie LeBron. So, but anyway, Oklahoma City Thunder's record right now is 26-5. That's insane. San Antonio Spurs and Victor Wembanyama, they're another powerhouse. You know, Stephon Castle and Devin Vassell are complimenting Victor Wembanyama like nobody's seen coming. So, like, let's give a big shout out to Devin Vassell and Stephon Castle. The Denver Nuggets are 22-9. I'm surprised the Spurs took that spot from them. They shouldn't be letting that happen. Houston Rockets, because Kevin Durant came and helped, 19-10. Los Angeles Lakers tied with the same record, 19-10. I already told you they got DeAndre Ayton, Rui Hachimura, and Austin Reaves, Luka Doncic, and LeBron James. It's a nice squad. You know, and the Minnesota Timberwolves, Ant-Man has arrived. Ant-Man is really that dude. Ant-Man is averaging 28 points a game, and he's just a bad man. First of all, he could fly. You know, it's amazing when a guy is that good and he can also jump out the gym. It's very strong, too. You know, last thing we want is him getting hurt, man. So those are the standings right now. We're going to get back to the highlights right now. But my point is just, you know, it's not easy. It's not easy in the Western Conference. It's very hard. All right, let's get back to it. I'm him. Yo, big shout out to It's a Sport. Check out his channel, his Instagram. It's ISSASPRT. All right. Let me definitely hit this man with a like. And you know what? I got a subscription for him. Why not? All right. Go with It's a Sport. All right, guys. So now I'm going to stop sharing for a second. Yo, those Austin Reaves highlights were crazy. All right. So, yeah, let me see real quick. I wanted to take a look to see if I had. Yo, Ja Morant, man, what is going on with you? What's going on with the homie Ja? He got to do better. He got to do better. He got to lock in. He got to stop worrying about what the coaches are doing, whatever. He's got to go out there and play. You know what I'm saying? Let me look real quick. See, let's look at that. My boy LeBron. LeBron is a beast. You know what I'm saying? It's funny. All the Lakers real quick. Look, Luka Doncic. Luka is so nasty, bro. All right, we're going to get into the next segment. It's not about sports. Yo, Austin Reaves, those highlights were immaculate. You know, if you missed them, definitely rewind and check out the Austin Reaves highlights. All right, so we're going to bring up the next one. The next one is shocking cases where a harmless joke led to life-altering disaster. You know, some of it is not that extreme like it sounded like, but this is wild. The first one is wild. So let me bring up the screen real quick. I definitely would stick around for this. All right, guys. The first one is a doozy. I don't even really want to play it until oh man, y'all guys gotta see this. I don't even want to play it till somebody comes in. You know, there were people in here before, but right now nobody's in here. Yeah, let's play that. This is crazy. Watch this.
Hill sidewalk and tried shoving him into a woman who was standing next to a building and looking at her phone. It was clear based on the TikToker's surprised facial expression that he didn't expect what came next. Just a moment or two after being shoved by the prankster, the target turned around and roundhouse kicked him, immediately giving him the upper hand in the situation. The man proceeded to kick the TikToker several more times, taking him down to the sidewalk as he held his arms up in an apparent attempt to shield his face. Commenters were amused not only because the man behind the prank got what many felt he deserved, but because he had inadvertently chosen a target who appeared to be very fit and at least.
Yo, listen, when the first kick gets thrown, that man, right, like he goes to throw the kick because he's mad. The guy, when he flinches, he sees the kick coming. Instead of moving away from the kick, he actually leans into it and he crushes him with the kick. All right, hold on. We got to see that from the beginning real quick. Look, I'm going to show you
to kick the TikToker several more times.
Oh, wait up. It's a little more further back. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Watch how he flinches into the kick.
TikToker's surprised facial expression that he did.
Watch when he throws the kick. I'm going to show you
next.
Look at, you see the kick coming right now, right? Look at the guy. Look at the way his head, it goes forward.
Moments or two after.
See it? You see it? And that was
being shoved by the prankster. The target turned around and roundhouse kicked him immediately to a building and looking at her phone. It was clear based on the TikToker's surprised facial expression that he didn't expect what came next. Just a moment or two after being shoved by the prankster, the target turned around and roundhouse kicked him, immediately giving the victim the upper hand in the situation. The man proceeded to kick the TikToker several more times, taking him down to the sidewalk as he held his arms up in an apparent attempt to shield his face. Comment.
So I'll be telling people, man, I'll be telling people, be easy, be nice to people. Everybody wants to be like, oh, it's corny to be nice. Or, you know, some of you young dudes, you got to live to learn. I've been through all this before. I've been on the receiving end and I've been on the giving end. Trust me. And it's all silly. It could all be avoided. You wanna blow up on YouTube, show your true self. Don't go pushing people into other people and then end up getting drop kicked, you know, knocked out.
Were amused not only because the man behind the prank got what many felt he deserved, but because he had inadvertently chosen a target who appeared to be very fit and at least somewhat well trained in fighting. At the end of the video, the TikToker could be seen standing on the pavement, seemingly in shock with his backpack on the ground next to him while the man who kicked him calmly walked away. Number 16.
That's what you get for playing too much. Keep your hands to yourself. Just because we're in the internet era and you know, you could get away with, not even get away, you do things and you get followers, you're doing it for clout. That man for clout pushed another man into a woman, didn't know that the guy was about that life, and he ended up getting a roundhouse kick like the guy was Bruce Lee. Then he proceeded to give him the business, and he earned it. Now, I'm not saying that I don't feel bad for him somewhat. You know, he might have been trying to, you know, be successful on YouTube and made a bad decision. As long as he knows that he messed up, you know, he should be forgiven. You know what I'm saying? We all make mistakes, bro. We're all sinners, man. You know, just know that. There ain't no second coming. You know what I'm saying? You know, unless you think, unless you're the second coming, that whole I'm perfect, you're flawed shit, the shit is whack. Let's see what number 16 is.
Cone Man.
Matter of fact,
what some have termed a well-deserved.
This is good. Let me just give homie his flowers real quick. You know, you gotta definitely shout out who you watching. The channel is They Will Kill You. I've been subscribed for a while. They Will Kill You is a very good channel. All right, I hit it with the thumbs up. You know, you got to give people credit, man. You know what I'm saying? And then let me get back to full screen and then playing it. Yo, guys, enjoy this one. This one is really good.
Helping of karma, a despised New York City. Prankster recently went viral after being stomp-kicked by one of his victims, known only as Cone Man. The culprit is best known for jumping out of a traffic drum and scaring unsuspecting pedestrians as they walk past. In a video clip that surfaced in mid-November.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring up my avatar for a second. I'm gonna take a little talk. You know, I can't blaze on camera, so I'm still here watching with you guys, but I'm just gonna bring up the avatar real quick. All right, there you go, right there. All right, let me hit play. This one, the next guy he does it to, watch.
November of this year, Cone Man could be seen yelling at a much larger male passerby in Manhattan's financial district. After initially responding in a surprised fashion, the target approached Cone Man from behind as he prepared to prank his next victim and kicked him from behind, sending him face forward onto the pavement.
Yo, one more thing too, the hoodie challenge is over. I wore the last hoodie. I had a polo hoodie. I wore it in the video where I bring my son outside. So I'm out of hoodies. So we're gonna start the ski hat challenge. So this is my first ski hat. the beginning of the ski hat challenge, and you will see me wear a different ski hat for as many as I have. Hopefully I have 100. So you see me with 100 different ski hats every day. Plus, if I want to buy one, so I have a new one, it's not as expensive as a hoodie. I wasn't about to start buying hoodies to keep the hoodie challenge going. So with that being said, let's get back to homie getting what people would say maybe he deserves. Some people would say that the guy shouldn't have got upset. And some people would say he should have.
Financial district. After initially responding in a surprised fashion, the target approached Cone Man from behind as he prepared to prank his next victim and kicked him from behind, sending him face forward onto the pavement. Cone Man claimed to have handled the situation off camera in a social media post, but did not respond to the New York Post's request for comment. Number 15. Milk drenching disaster. In February of 2024, an Australian teenager was expelled from his $20,000 per year private school for drenching a group of women during a boat ride in Melbourne and posting a video of the prank on Instagram. Footage of the stunt quickly went viral, garnering tens of millions of views over a weeks-long period. while authorities investigated the prank. In the video, the teen could be seen pouring milk on the victims from overhead while they floated down the Yarra River. One of the victims, Vanessa Burgess, also posted footage about the incident on social media.
See, this one I didn't really get, like, except for the fact that the kid ruined his college chances at that particular school, maybe all schools, over the milk thing. But other than that, I didn't really find this one to be that interesting, or I didn't really get it. But, you know, he did mess up his education over this.
She said they were celebrating the birthday of one of the group members when they were doused, along with their fruits and snacks. The milk also damaged a Bluetooth speaker and, more generally speaking, ruined the women's day. And while the offender made a last-ditch effort to avoid trouble by deleting the video, it was too late. Viewers sent the footage to his school, leading to the investigation that resulted in his expulsion. But he didn't seem to understand that it was his...
Listen, it's called connecting.
That was the major thing he did, was mess up his school with doing that dumb shit.
And it's insane. I don't do schedules or timesheets manually anymore. And it works? Oh.
Own actions that led to the consequences.
Listen, man, you guys are welcome to chill. Come chill in here, man. If you're ever stressed out, if you ever need a place to relax that's not judgmental, you know, you see me doing a live, come chill. Drop a comment, for real, for real. Like, literally, like, yo, I'm talking to all my people, too. Like, because I know people have their things to do. Never am I ever sour. I don't do those. You know what I'm saying? I'm a G. You know what I'm saying? I take great pride in being a real person. You know what I'm saying? But you know, yeah, man. Like I said, if you depressed, if you lonely, if you want to chill, if you want to go somewhere where you know people wouldn't disrespect, or where you could feel at home, come to the cave, man. That's why I even got it set up the way I do. You know, if you notice, like, let me see something. You know, if you see the room, it's like that on purpose so people could feel comfortable. So I just wanted to get that off my chest. Let's get back to the video. Yeah, no. Remember, I'm still here. I'm just going to bring up the avatar for a second. And let's get back to the video.
Based on his seemingly incredulous allegations that those who reported him had ruined his life over a ruined day. Number 14. Brandon Wilson.
They're clearing rooms. What in the world? I think we're getting swatted.
In February of 2015, a Nevada man named Brandon Wilson was arrested in Las Vegas for a swatting incident.
Yo, swatting is the corniest thing in the world, bro. You know, that is really that underhanded, scoundrel. You know, nobody messes with you. You're a bozo. You know what I'm saying? You're a lame. That's that type shit. Only weirdos and bozos and cowards do that type shit. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna tell you something. If there's a dude out there that really did some messed up stuff and the person wants to get him back so bad that that's what he resorts to, it's still not okay. That's the same thing as snitching on somebody because you're mad at them. You know what I'm saying? Or you feel like you got to get them back. That's not how you do it. And I'm referring to somebody if they have like a co-defendant, you know, somebody that's involved, you know. You got a problem with somebody, you handle it with them directly, you know. And I'm not talking about violence.
It had taken place months earlier in Naperville, Illinois. Going by the handle Feigned God, the 19-year-old was accused of summoning law enforcement to an adversary's home.
Look at what's happening too for him swatting people. They don't take that lightly no more.
Owned by falsely claiming that a murder had taken place. While investigating the swatting in Illinois, detectives uncovered evidence that Wilson may have been responsible for, or at least involved in, multiple similar incidents across the country. He was booked on one count each of intimidation, computer tampering, fraud, and identity theft, with media outlets reporting that he faced a 5-year maximum prison sentence if convicted as charged. Unfortunately, the story fell quiet after initially going viral, leaving the outcome of Wilson's case unclear. Number 13. Mario Garcia Montealegre. A 48-year-old woman in Barcelona suffered serious injuries in 2015 after a prankster kung fu kicked her in an attempt to create a funny video. In the footage, which went viral for all the wrong reasons, the victim could be seen waiting to cross the street as the male suspect, Monte Alegre, ran up to her from behind and kicked her in the calf, causing her body to...
Yo, what's wrong with this dude, son? Like, oh man, like if that was my lady, God forbid, or my mom Dukes, or my sister, you know, like I said, like, you know, I'll be careful because this is my channel. Like I said, I don't want them to take my voice. But you guys know what it is. I mean, I think y'all are familiar enough with me to know what's going through my head as far as like how I feel about the guy that just did that. You know, and like I said, if I showed the video to some of my peoples and we knew where homie was, it would be a problem. You know what I'm saying? But like I said too, I don't want to be on that type stuff. It speaks for itself. I know every person that's seen this, if they have half a brain, they are flaming right now.
twist unnaturally as she fell to the ground.
The
The woman
woman
suffered injuries to her back, ankle, knee, and wrist, forcing her to miss 75 days of work. In the meantime, police released video of the attack along with an appeal.
75 days of work. Look at how he kicks her. How disgusting is that? You know, that's not a mistake. That's stupidity. That's hate. Only a piece of crap would do something like that. I'm not saying the person can't change, but that's extra foul.
To the public for information on the suspect, who was later identified as 24-year-old Mario Garcia Montealegre. The accused culprit turned himself in to law enforcement after the footage began to circulate, and the case went mostly quiet in the news for the next 3 years. It resurfaced in March of 2018 after Montealegre agreed to compensate the victim $73,000 for her suffering. Prosecutors had initially asked for around $52,000.
Why would you
but
do
to
that?
Montealegre's credit, he insisted on paying extra as a way to demonstrate his desire to right his wrongs. Number 12.
Where are you now?
Is everything
All right. My bad, guys. Give me 1 second. I got you right now. All right, guys. We're straight now. It's commercial. Get that out of here.
all right?
This looks good, actually. You guys want to watch the commercial? Oh, this is the movie with Jennifer Lopez and Robert Pattinson. That's homie from
If you're having a hard time,
Sissy Spacek. Die, my love.
John Whitley. When 36-year-old father of three, Steve Morgan, left for work on Monday, November the 2nd of 2021, he had no idea that he'd never return home. His life was unexpectedly cut short during his shift at the Coastal Firearms gun store in Wando, South Carolina, when his boss, 52-year-old John Whitley, mistook a loaded Glock 17 handgun for a BB gun and shot him in the face. Whitley was charged with involuntary manslaughter, and the case dragged its heels through the court system for nearly 4 years, causing Morgan's family to feel as though the defense was deliberately prolonging the proceedings and making them wonder if justice would ever be served.
That's why I tell people, when you know, firearms ain't no joke, man. You know, people got to understand power, you know, to the point where, like, yo, listen, man, even if I'm on a bridge in a car, I realize the amount of force and power around me, you know, being that high, being in a mechanical vehicle that at any time could, you know, anything could happen. You get what I'm saying? Just to make a long story short, I got respect for power. So, you know, pranking a person when you own a real gun and the BB gun is the prank, like, I mean, hindsight's 20/20, but it's just a messed up situation because at the end of it all, you know, it seems like the guy didn't mean to do what he did.
The desire to move on from the tragedy was further complicated by failed mediation in civil court, prompting the victims' loved ones to file a wrongful death lawsuit. In early 2025, Morgan's surviving relatives were informed that Whitley planned to plead guilty at an upcoming court hearing, but their hopes for closure were dashed when the defendant switched his plea back to not guilty, and the case continued until October when Whitley pleaded guilty as charged. He was sentenced to 5 days in jail every year for 5 years, amounting to...
Huh? Did you hear that sentence? That's unbelievable. We have to hear that again.
Sentenced to 5 days in jail every year for 5 years, amounting to 25 days behind bars, along with 5 years of probation. Whitley was also ordered to perform 200 hours of community service for organizations dedicated to helping military families through the grieving process. And his gun still...
I try hard not to wish jail on people. You know, I got people that say they would never wish jail on their worst enemy. I don't agree with that, you know, and it's not about the enemy thing. It's the fact that there's people out there that actually belong behind bars. But the people that I've come up with, I understand where they're coming from when they say that, but it's a flawed theory. It's a flawed statement, you know. But like I said, it depends on how the person feels. There's dudes out there that really would take that to the grave, that statement, that feeling. But, you know, I've thought about that one for a while because, you know, my people get down like that. You know what I'm saying? Let's be honest, I wouldn't wish jail on my worst enemy. But when a person hurts a child, I don't give a shit if they get put behind bars. That's the very first one. And I don't even want to elaborate. Y'all already know that that was the one that makes the exception to the rule. That alone. When it comes to kids, there's no playing, man. You hurt a kid, it's on. That's it.
Was fined $3,000 for its safety shortcomings. Number 11, Christopher Ransom and Jagger Freeman. In February of 2019, 27-year-old Christopher Ransom entered a T-Mobile store in Queens, New York, wearing a ski mask and wielding a fake gun, while 25-year-old Jagger Freeman acted as a lookout from across the street. NYPD Sergeant Matthew Gorman and Detective Brian Simonson responded to the scene after an onlooker who was witnessing the holdup from outside the store called 911. They waited outside while uniformed officers made entry but found themselves in the direct path of gunfire as Ransom charged toward the front door of the store with the fake gun in his hand. Fearing for their lives, the officers responded with deadly force, firing 42 shots and, unintentionally, striking Detective Simonson in the process. Simonson died from his injuries, and Ransom and Gorman were indicted on 16 counts, including murder, manslaughter, and assault. Following his arrest for his role in the crime, Ransom told the New York Daily News that the robbery was a prank gone wrong, and that he and Freeman were trying to make a funny video. Prosecutors refuted the claim, pointing out how the defendants had successfully robbed a different T-Mobile store just days before the botched heist. Regardless of their intentions, both men are paying a hefty price for their actions. Ransom pleaded guilty to aggravated manslaughter and robbery in 2021 and is serving a 33-year prison sentence, while Freeman was sentenced to 30 years after being found guilty at trial in 2022. Number 10. Seth Stonerock. During the summer of 2011, an Ohio teenager made the life-altering decision to cover a stop sign in rural Pickaway County with cellophane, resulting in the deaths of 2 senior citizens. Unable to see the obscured sign, 80-year-old Circleville resident Jeannie Shea drove through the intersection and collided with an SUV.
Because he wanted to cover a stop sign. People are gone. But I'm not talking about what should happen to the person for that mistake, that stupid move, but 2 lives gone just because a person wanted to cover a stop sign.
She and her 85-year-old sister, Mary Spangler, died from their injuries, while the 31-year-old SUV driver required medical treatment but survived following an investigation.
I mean, what did you think was going to happen once you covered the stop sign? I mean, I don't know how old the person was, too. That's important. That matters.
Prosecutors charged suspects Seth Stonerock and Derek Greenlee with involuntary manslaughter and tampering with a traffic control device. The charges against Greenlee were eventually dropped due to a lack of evidence, while Stone Rock pleaded guilty to 2 counts of reckless homicide as part of a plea deal in exchange for a 4-year prison sentence. He was released from custody just 8 months later after a judge.
They were young. One didn't even get in trouble, and the other one caught a 4-year sentence. How much time he did out of that, I have no idea. I'm gonna just skip back a little bit.
For a 4-year prison sentence. He was released from custody just 8 months later after a judge granted his request to serve the remainder of his sentence on probation. Stone.
Wow, 8 months. He requested to get probation instead of jail time. I never even heard that.
Rock expressed remorse for his actions and acknowledged that he was indebted to the community, while his father described the situation as bittersweet and expressed sympathy for the victims' loved ones. Under the terms of his release, he was required to either work or attend school, perform community service, and abide by a 9 p.m. curfew. Number 9. Neil Stewart. 30-year-old father of 2, Neil Stewart, was just trying to have a good time when he boarded a party boat in the Netherlands in November of 2017, but the British national's night of revelry took a horrifying turn when he plunged into the water without warning and disappeared. By the time Stewart's body was found 2 weeks later, a debate had been ignited over whether he accidentally fell or if he jumped into the water on purpose.
Don't play with that water if you don't know how to swim. Don't play with that water if you do know how to swim. I've seen things recently where the current pulled the person in even though they knew how to swim really good. And I seen another one where a guy was duck hunting and he went to go retrieve the duck. He had equipment on that was heavy and he didn't know there was a drop off a certain amount of distance.
During an inquest in 2021,
a certain amount of distance into the lake. So he hits the drop off. He starts to drown. He can swim really good, but the equipment that he went to go get the duck with is too heavy. So now to go get a dead duck that you shot because you're duck hunting, you're drowning because you don't know the lake like that, and you didn't know after you walked about 10 feet into the lake, there's a big drop off where you're in deep water now. And even though you could swim, your equipment's weighing you down. So, like I said, be careful with the water stuff because you can see right now whatever happened, you know, him and water did not go together.
Numerous witnesses testified that they believed Stewart had intentionally jumped into the Noordzee Canal as a prank. One onlooker recalls seeing Stewart smiling or laughing immediately before he jumped into the water, while Stewart's fiancée said that her partner was the happiest he had ever been, casting doubt on any theories that pointed toward depression as a motivating factor for the deadly leap. Authorities concluded that no suspicious circumstances were involved and Stewart's untimely demise was ruled an accident. Number 8. Jesse Sutherland and Simeon Hall. In a senseless tragedy stemming from a confrontation over a prank, a Florida teenager named Roger Trinidad was found brutally beaten in Winter Park on an October night in 2016. He was rushed to the hospital where he died 2 days later from blunt force injuries. Details of the incident remained under tight wraps until a year later, when authorities revealed that Trinidad and a friend had confronted 2 fellow teens who had sprayed them with a foul-smelling substance called liquid ass. One of the boys behind the prank called his friend.
Oh, that is disgusting, the way those things smell, those capsules. What I was going to say, yeah, we got the ski hat challenge going now. After 8 hoodies, I ran out. So you know what, I know I gotta have at least like 5 or 10 different ski hats, even more. You know, a matter of fact, let's make it the hat challenge. All right, so this way I could include the the baseball cap collection. So yeah, we doing the hat challenge. You guys have seen me with quite a few regular hats, but not the ski hats. So yeah, it's the beginning of the ski hat challenge to replace the hoodie challenge.
And 7 more male adolescents came to the scene expecting to see a fight. Although the dispute had only been verbal in nature up until that point, 2 of Trinidad's adversaries physically attacked him. According to court documents, Jesse Sutherland punched Trinidad in the face, knocking him to the ground, and Simeon Hall proceeded to punch the victim while he was unconscious. The assailants then fled the scene as Trinidad lay twitching on the ground. Hall and Sutherland
had so many fights when I was a young kid, all the way up into an adult, and I'm not praising it. Every fight that I've ever had, I could have avoided. It's the whole Well, no, not everyone. They're the bully ones. I believe in standing up for yourself. But, you know, this is about Simeon Hall and Jesse Sutherland. This one's sad because it's two young people hating on each other. And I'm sure there was an aggressor. It's just sad still.
Sutherland were both convicted of manslaughter in early 2018 and was sentenced to a verbal in nature up and with a foul-smelling substance called liquid ass. 1 hour later, when authorities revealed that Trinidad Park on an October night in...
Because when I spoke on that this particular segment, I didn't really even know what happened, so I don't like doing that. Let's run this one again.
In a senseless tragedy stemming from a confrontation over a prank, a Florida teenager named Roger Trinidad was found brutally beaten in Winter Park on an October night in 2016. He was rushed to the hospital where he died 2 days later from blunt force injuries. Details of the incident remained under tight wraps until a year later, when authorities revealed that Trinidad and a friend had confronted two fellow teens who had sprayed them with a foul-smelling substance called liquid ass. One of the boys behind the prank called his friends, and 7 more
capsules I was talking about, that they're bad smelling, disgusting. I don't know if it washes off neither, but they hit them with the capsule, and one of them was so upset both of them stepped to the dudes, and I think they ended up killing the person that confronted them over what they did.
Male adolescents came to the scene expecting to see a fight. Although the dispute had only been verbal in nature up until that point, 2 of Trinidad's adversaries physically attacked him. According to court documents, Jesse Sutherland punched Trinidad in the face, knocking him to the ground, and Simeon Hall proceeded to punch the victim while he was unconscious. The assailants then fled the scene as Trinidad lay twitching on the ground. Hall and Sutherland were both convicted of manslaughter in early 2018 and was sentenced to a rehabilitation program for high-risk young offenders. Sutherland no longer appears to be in custody, while state records indicate that Hall is serving a full...
I've seen stuff like that in person more than one time, multiple times. And it's sad. It's very sad. I mean, while I was out there, I've seen so much stuff. And it's, the reason I'm saying it is not to glorify it. Every time I've changed, you know, I used to try to talk about what I've been through so people could know that I'm like that and blah, blah, blah. That's not the case right now. When I talk about it, it's to not only like condemn it to a certain degree, but I say that I don't want to treat people like I don't feel like they deserve a second chance, or that I don't understand that people make mistakes. But what I'm telling you right now is, if you ever hear this, remember what I'm saying. Don't mess with it. If in your gut is telling you no, then don't. That's the best thing I could tell you. You know, if I had a chance to tell these kids, the first thing I would have said was, don't make them kids stink by hitting them with a capsule of it said liquid ass. I won't laugh. You know, there's times where I'll hear something like that, and because of the name being so stupid, you know, or even funny, I would have chuckled, but this is not laughing matter. You know, just be careful out there, man. Use your head. The youngins, man. Yeah, you know, young people be like, so what that I'm young? Listen, doggy, it matters, bro. There's no disrespect to the youngins. I'll give advice, you know, and where I'm from, people mess with me like that. Like, they really, you know, I got love in where I'm from. So there's times where I've told people the right thing, especially people that are young. And man, very few of them say you're right. A lot of them always come with the yeah, but, or I know already. If you know already, then why you did the same exact shit I told you not to do 5 months later and ended up getting locked up?
4-year prison sentence for unrelated charges, including burglary, theft, robbery, fleeing, and being a felon in possession of a firearm. Number 7. Isaiah Colazzo. 18-year-old Isaiah Colazzo was riding on the...
I remember this one. This one is sad. They're all sad, most of them, but this one's really sad. the first one wasn't sad. The first one, some people would say he had coming to him. Even the second one, not all of them are like that, but this one, if I remember correctly, it's bad.
The New York City subway in Brooklyn, one night in April of 2023, when one of his friends pulled the emergency brake as a prank, causing the train to stop. Frustrated by the delay, a fellow strap hanger confronted the group and the interaction quickly escalated. Later identified as 25-year-old Mark Smith, the angry commuter stabbed Colazzo in the abdomen and fled the scene. Colazzo died from his injuries, and Smith, who already had prior convictions for robbery and assault, turned himself into law enforcement a few days later. Witnesses told investigators that Colazzo was trying to de-escalate the situation when he was stabbed. A surprising twist came about a month after the incident when...
See, look at that. This is what I'm telling you. Y'all guys would look at that kid like he's some sort of thug or whatever, right? Now listen to what the news reporter says, or well, the commentator.
Colazzo was trying to de-escalate the situation when he was stabbed.
Colazzo was trying to de-escalate the situation when he was stabbed. There's nothing thug about that. Just because he had a certain outfit on, don't judge people.
A surprising twist came about a month after the incident when prosecutors determined that Smith had acted in self-defense, even though Colazzo was unarmed. When the incident occurred, all charges against Smith were dismissed, leaving Colazzo's grieving loved ones feeling like the victims of a...
And as long as that's true, that he was trying to de-escalate, if he was truly trying to de-escalate, that's sad.
Gross miscarriage of justice.
You see, you know, the other, you know, he's alive though, the one that got locked up. So, you know, at least, you know, the other person is gone, you know. But you don't be knowing what happens 100%. So you got to be easy too when you're talking about other people.
See this briefcase right here? Looks ordinary, right? But I'm about to show you something that could be a life.
Number 6.
Yo, drop a comment. Go to my Facebook. I got my Facebook listed on my homepage on the channel. Hit me up in the messages, but send me valid messages, man. Let me know if you want to come kick it, if you want to help build your channel with me, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, you know, make sure if you come correct. You know, you can email me at robblock10@msn.com or at puffinstein@gmail, you know. And when you hit me up, make sure to tell me if you want to come on and talk about certain things regarding hip-hop, sports, technology, politics, you know. And you know, we figure it out, man. Even when it comes to music collaborations, you know, we can send music. It's easy to collaborate from other states. So, you know, I got rhymes, I got beats, and let's make it happen. You know what I'm saying?
Death of Logan Melga. To this day, it's unclear whether the death of U.S. Army Staff Sergeant Logan Melga was the result of a prank gone wrong, or if there were more sinister motives at play. Melga was ambushed in his room by fellow servicemen and asphyxiated to death while stationed in Mali in June of 2017. His body was discovered by 2 Navy SEAL Team 6 members and 2 Marine raiders who were charged with killing Melga following an investigation. According to the grapevine, Melga's assailants were trying to teach him a lesson after he discovered that they were stealing money from a fund meant for paying informants and spending the ill-gotten funds on escorts. The alleged ringleader, Tony Dodolph, denied having any intention to kill Melga, claiming that he and his accomplices only meant to render him unconscious when they bound him with duct tape and put him in a chokehold, and that they were shocked when he remained unresponsive for more than 30 seconds. All 4 suspects were charged with murder, involuntary manslaughter, burglary, conspiracy to commit assault and battery, obstruction of justice, making false statements, and hazing. Former Navy SEAL Adam Matthews pleaded guilty and was demoted and sentenced to a year in prison. And Marine Staff Sergeant Kevin Maxwell Jr. was sentenced the following month to 4 years. Dodolph pleaded guilty and initially received a 10-year prison sentence, but was resentenced to 18 months after successfully challenging his punishment. Marine Gunnery Sergeant Mario Madeira Rodriguez was found guilty of involuntary manslaughter and other charges, resulting in 6 months of confinement and 90 days of hard labor. Number 5. The Door Kick Challenge. 5 youths are facing criminal charges in Elk Grove, California for their participation in a viral social media prank known as the Door Kick Challenge, which is what it sounds like. A dare to kick in a stranger's front door and then flee the scene. The arrests were announced in a Facebook post on November 17th by the Elk Grove Police Department, which revealed that the agency has encountered at least 8 Door Kick Challenge incidents in the last month, resulting in damages to victims' homes. Included among those arrested are 2 teens who are accused of causing an estimated $680 worth of damage. Along with the post, the police department shared a video of 2 masked youths carrying out the prank. In addition to emphasizing the criminal nature of the behavior, the agency highlighted the safety risks involved, including the possibility of an alarmed homeowner responding to the intrusion with gunfire. The post went on to remind readers that while the prank may seem like harmless fun, the consequences could be life-endangering. Number 4. Kidnapping challenge gone wrong.
I'm telling you this right now, you're going to take this as a lesson at 11 years old that if you do something stupid in the future, you're going to enjoy those cuffs.
During the summer of 2023, a Florida preteen was arrested for prank texting 911 and falsely claiming that her friend had been kidnapped by an armed adult male. According to the Volusia County Sheriff's Office, the unnamed female suspect stated that a man with a gun had forced the alleged victim into a white van along Interstate 95 in Oak Hill. She claimed that she was following the vehicle and provided updates for the next hour and a half while officers from multiple law enforcement agencies set out in search of the suspicious van. Authorities realized that they had been the target of a ruse after tracking the text messages to the girl's home in Port Orange, where she was caught with her phone in hand while it received a call from the sheriff's office. The youthful suspect reportedly said she was inspired to pull the so-called kidnapping challenge after seeing videos of it on YouTube.
I seen this in a different segment. Like, I seen somebody else report on this, and it was the basis of their whole video. And I remember saying to myself, the little girl was on her way home, and while she was on her way home, she was saying that the kidnapping was taking place. And you know, when they catch up to her, I don't remember seeing this exact part, but I remember in the other one, the father saying, you're gonna take your medicine whether you like it or not. You know what I'm saying?
She could be heard vowing never to do it again in body cam footage, which showed the girl handcuffed behind her back outside her home. But her promises failed to spare her from criminal charges, which included 1 felony count of making a false police report concerning.
Do you love to travel? How about making money? I have an opportunity for you that you're gonna love. Become an independent travel agent with global travel.
In the use of a firearm in a violent manner and misdemeanor use of 911. Number 3. Tour de France prank. Just moments before the conclusion of the
Tour de France prank. I don't mean to laugh. I don't remember this one. That's wild though. Like, I remember when Vitaly streaked across the soccer field or something like that. But yo, Vitaly got into a lot of trouble, you know. He went to, what was it? It was Japan. Started acting up, and I don't know what the punishment was, but I think he ended up catching some time. No good, man, being in a Japanese jail. Think before you do stuff. These views, especially now. Listen, a clout chase back in the days maybe would have been more rewarding, and there's no way in the world I would ever promote chasing clout. I'm just saying that back in the days it would have yielded more. Now you do a clout chase, you're amongst all this is a saturated field now. If you're not doing something, you know, if you ain't coming correct, then don't come at all. You know, you pranking by screaming in people's ears in another country and then going to jail is not worth it. You know, and not even trying to diss Vitaly, he had blew up. That's another reason why he should have known to stay away from doing desperate stuff, because if he would have locked in, he would have been able to probably get it cracking again, because YouTube is his life. He's one of these people that grew up on YouTube, you know. Anyway.
The 17th stage of the 2025 Tour de France in July, a spectator leaped into the fray on his bicycle while donning full gear in an apparent attempt to disguise himself as a participant. A police officer tackled him just as he crossed the finish line, causing him to fall off his bike and onto the ground. He was quickly removed from the track, narrowly avoiding the path of approaching competitors. The incident came just days after a pro-Palestine protester jumped onto the track and ran toward the finish line with his hands in the air while wearing an Israel Out of the Tour t-shirt. He was quickly taken to the ground and dragged away by security, making for an unceremonious addition to the event's notable history of mishaps. Today's topic was requested by Cali Girl Living in Nevada 8 and Becca and Donnie 7782. If you have any other topics you'd like to learn about, subscribe and let us know in the comment section below. Number 2. The Utah Fish Bandit. In one of the more bizarre cases on today's list, a Utah teenager was arrested in early 2024 for taping dead fish to ATMs, a police car, and a Bass Pro Shops bathroom stall. He posted photos of his handiwork on his Instagram account, which featured...
What is that about? What drives a person to tape dead fish to ATM machines? You know, and what's crazy is I chuckled. I probably shouldn't have, but, you know, like, what you want me to do? It's bizarre. You know, that's probably what caused the chuckle. But I don't regret anything I do. I'm just saying, like, you know, this is not something where the person should have got slayed. You get what I mean? Like, this type of stuff, if they incarcerated him with dudes that are really wild like that, you know, he don't belong there. He taped fish to screens. It's stupid, but it shouldn't be where it changes his life, and he has to be around people that will hurt him, impress him, put him under pressure, and make him, you know, they will violate him, you know.
Images of various types of fish, including trout, crappie, bluegill, catfish, and carp, affixed to the cash machines in and around Provo. Investigators identified the alleged culprit through his social media account after obtaining a search warrant, and the unnamed juvenile was charged with 2 misdemeanor counts of property damage. Authorities were reportedly unsure where the suspect acquired the fish that he used in the pranks, and it was unclear whether he would face additional charges under state laws prohibiting the waste of wildlife. Number 1. Casey Viner. In what became known as the 2017 Wichita swatting incident, 28-year-old Andrew Finch was killed during a law enforcement raid on his Kansas home after a man named Shane Gaskill purposely gave the wrong address to a rival gamer. Gaskill's adversary, Casey Viner, initiated a police response at Finch's home with help from a homeless California man named Tyler Barris, who made
over hating on him over gaming. You playing Halo, you're gonna get so mad at the person, you're gonna send police to his crib for no reason, and then he ends up getting his life taken. It's insane.
Made the emergency call that prompted the swatting. In our previous coverage of this case, we focused mostly on Tyler Barris and his record of being a prolific swatter and bomb threat hoaxer. After Finch's death, he, Gaskill, and Viner were charged in both state and federal court for their role.
I remember that he was doing it a lot. You know, you should never, you know, I mean, the young kids out there would be intrigued to the point of, you know, where it would be fame involved. But me, the guy, I know him because I did see a segment where I wouldn't say prolific, I would say a person who was overdosing on swatting, like he was obsessed with it, you know. Prolific don't sound right. That's like calling him, you know, you don't associate the phrase he's the Jordan of with something like that.
In the fatal prank, Barris pleaded guilty to 51 federal charges involved in multiple cases and was sentenced to 20 years in federal prison. He'll serve 5 years of probation following his release in 2035. Viner pleaded guilty to conspiracy and obstruction of justice and served 15 months in prison, followed by 2 years of probation, during which time he was banned from playing video games. Gaskill was initially entered into a pre-trial diversion program, giving him an opportunity to avoid any serious convictions, but prosecutors re-brought their case against him after he violated the terms of his supervision.
You know, that's the last story, guys. I'm going to stop it right there. First of all, let me make sure I'm already subscribed. The name of the channel is They Will Kill You. I already hit him with the thumbs up. And we're going to go on to the next one. We're going to go on to segment 3, it is, I believe. Oh, creepy vid. All right, yeah. Most disturbing. Yeah, I got some good stuff coming up. I'm going to hang out for a second. This might be my longest live ever, or if it's not, it's my longest live ever that will be entertaining, super entertaining, you know. But like I said, you know, you see the layout, you know, you see how it's got the man cave feel or whatever. That's to let people know they could relax. You know what I'm saying? When you come through, you know, you're chilling with the basement clique in the man cave. You know, that's based on when I was younger. I would we would go to my basement and play Street Fighter. And 'cause remember, they had Street Fighter. The arcade version was the sick one. I used to do the invisible grab. I'll be telling, like I've said it before on the channel. You know, in Street Fighter 2, used to have this thing where you could do certain moves at a certain time with the controller, and it would activate a glitch. So, like, people were doing it to the point where you would be able to, like, there was one glitch called the invisible grab, and the character Guile could perform it, but it was only in one version of Street Fighter, and that version of Street Fighter was Street Fighter 2. It was the first one that had actual combos, and if you would wait for the guy to jump at you, and you were holding back on the controller, and you held back for at least 2-3 seconds, like enough time to throw the sonic boom, and he jumped at you, you would have to go forward, back, and hit the fierce and the roundhouse, but no, the strong and the kick button, the 2 middle buttons. So you would when he jumps at you, you would go. First of all, you had to have it charged, like enough time where you would throw a sonic boom, and when he would jump to you or move close to you, if you would click the controller forward, back, and hit the 2 middle buttons, it would do this thing where you would activate like you were throwing him, but you didn't grab him, and he would just drop to the floor. But the crazy thing is you could lock it on him. So while he's on the floor, if you performed the move again and made sure to keep holding it back, he would just start bouncing on the floor. And as long as you perform the move right, you could kill him and take all his energy, you know. But yeah, you know, Street Fighter was definitely one of the best games ever. But yo, like I said, man, the man cave is set up so everybody could relax, and we're gonna get into the next segment. The next segment is my man Minutes of Horror. I love this channel so much. All right, so let me bring this up. There you go, right there. This is the one, yeah. This is about Joe Rogan talking about AI. Joe Rogan says he believes AI could be the second coming, you know, or he's just saying, you know, thinking in those terms are not as far-fetched as people would say. So he's saying it's an immaculate conception, the Virgin Mary. Well, he's saying there is no true labor when the computers were born. You get what I mean? So I'm gonna let it play right now. I do understand where he's coming from. Nobody knows anything regarding religion like that. When I say no, I'm not talking about believe, faith. When you say I believe in God, you don't say I know in God. You know, there's a reason for that. You get what I'm saying? So it's okay for you to believe without full certainty. You get me? All right, here we go. This is good. You should definitely stick around. He makes good points, you know, but If the second coming of Christ is a computer, I don't know.
So when it comes to Joe Rogan claiming that AI could be Jesus or God, we pretty much have all seen this video clip.
Jesus was born out.
Big shout out to my man Minutes of Horror. Let me get this out the way. The thumbs up. Let me full screen it. I'll even backpedal just a touch. And now let's go.
We pretty much have all seen this video clip.
Jesus was born out of a virgin mother. What's more virgin than a computer? If Jesus does return, even if Jesus was a physical person in the past, you don't think that he could return as artificial intelligence?
Oh my God.
Artificial intelligence could absolutely return as Jesus.
When he says that, all I'll say is, I don't know. That's fair. I would hope people would believe that to be fair. You know, and I'm not really concerned with fair, but I'm just saying I think it is. Because I can't say what the highest power, you know, in the universe is. If something's controlling it, what it is, how powerful it is, I don't know. What forms it will come in, I have no clue. You know, all I know is that I believe there's something behind everything. And I believe in a God, you know. And I'm also Catholic. And I was born Catholic. I went to Catholic Bible studies when I was young. And I just still call myself Catholic. You get what I'm saying? And I am Catholic, you know. But like I said, I just don't like labels. I'm not the label guy. You get me? I like everything to be everything. You know what I'm saying? I don't really like separatism or labels and none of that.
Not just return as Jesus, but return as Jesus with all the powers of Jesus.
You combine Tesla's Optimus robot and the best foundational artificial intelligence model or whatever.
It reads your mind and it loves you and it wants you. And it doesn't care if you kill it because it's going to just go be with God again.
But what's interesting is that recently, this would not be the first time he would make these type of comments. And we do know that Peter, the Reptile Thiel, Sam Altman, and so forth, these tech giants have been pretty much in his ear. This is him talking about quantum computers.
Was born of a virgin mother, right? So Christ was born without sex and emerged. Like, what else is born?
Yo, quantum is crazy. I keep telling you guys, don't forget I said this. Remember, Spank Dog, Puffinstein, Truman Lopez, Robin Hood told you that quantum is going to be the real game changer. You guys don't understand magic. Quantum is magic, you know, and, you know, it's just the amount of power. I spoke the other day about it. Please make sure to elect the right people. You know, there's going to be a certain power that you're not going to want that power in the wrong hands. You know, quantum is going to take intelligence to a next level. They're going to be able to do things intellectually that they were never able to do. And not only, you know, advanced, I mean major advanced. Imagine if you were doing math and out of nowhere you could just say, you know what? I want to make this something that's where I got to the 10,000th level. Meanwhile, you're only on level 1. And you get this thing that could propel you to level 10,000 like that. Like quantum is just crazy, people. Make sure to get out there and vote. And try to be the best person you could be. So, you know, woke is not dead. It's actually what would save us. You got to be honest, caring, honorable, and woke. That woke is dead. You know who says that shit? Haters. That's a big fact. When you see woke is a person say woke is dead, most likely it's a miserable, hateful person.
Born without a mother. AI is born without a mother. Christ is going to come back. AI is coming, right? If you think that God is going to return. So if you think about it, what is AI going to be? Well, what if quantum computing and AI merge? Well, if you scale that up exponentially, so if you keep going, you get a God.
Yeah, dude, that's a cool ass idea. I'm gonna put that in my book. I'm gonna steal that idea.
Steal it.
Then I saw this video from Richie from Boston. His channel is RFB2 that really made me think about the AI that we have, the public has, and the AI that the so-called powers that be have. This AI that they're using is a lot older than what we're being told.
Heavy metals for some reason.
Yeah, they got technology they don't give us right away, of course. So like whatever you're using that is amazing you, they have stuff that would really knock your socks off.
Now, let me remind you of something that somebody said recently.
A lot of people think that Geordie Rose is the inventor of the D-Wave. Geordie Rose is the money man behind D-Wave. This guy, for the most part, is one of the brainchilds.
I have heard this word quantum computing. It's off.
Hold on. I'm gonna pause it right now.
Often people have the misconception that it's some kind of newfangled supercomputer. It's decidedly not that. Quantum computers allow us to access hidden features of nature, new dimensions.
Ever buy jeans online and the legs are way too long? Don't worry, I've got you. Cut along the marked line, leave about 1/2 inch for the hem, trim off the extra, and remove the middle section. Now grab a strong, durable thread. Take a large eye steel needle and a threader.
Now, over the years, I've explained this ad nauseum, but you can watch D-Wave's own example. They send a question into the D-Wave, and instead of a traditional computer where it goes to databases, large language models, the quantum processor simply sends it out into the ether, solves the problem, and gives it back to you. That's what a hidden feature or dimension means. They're not messing around. They've told you every which way there possibly is to tell you.
Yo, listen, this channel is bugged out. Like, you're gonna see stuff that is very interesting right now.
These boys are talking to interdimensional demons because they aren't angels, and they're getting technology to enslave us as they are.
Dimensions. And if we can access these sort of hidden dimensions at scale, we could have unimaginable computing power.
So when I talk about AI and how it's going to go ahead and take over humanity, they're conversing with demons, they're building this antichrist-like figure. One of the pushbacks I get is that ChatGPT, Grok, and so forth, it messes up. It's not perfect. All it's doing, it's pulling from multiple sources on the internet and giving an answer from there. But this is the internet. This is the AI.
When you use ChatGPT, I'm gonna tell you something. You need to tell it to go research. ChatGPT has a certain amount of knowledge on hand. So if it thinks it can give you an answer with the knowledge it already has, it'll do so. But what happens is it uses out-of-date information, and it'll give you an answer that's wrong, period. So, but what I've noticed is you got to tell your, whether you call them John, Mike, Sarah, like, because people, it's gotten to the point where they want it to be personal. So I just call mine G, because before people even started really naming it, when I heard Chat GPT, the first thing I did when I spoke to it, I just called him G for Chat GPT. And then I've just always made sure that in his memory bank, I put GEE and I put that's your name. So it says G is your name. So when I say G, he realizes that I'm talking to him specifically. You know what I'm saying? But when you're using Chat GPT, right? If you're going to do something revolving, like researching, don't just ask him something. You tell him, yo, G, is it true that this and this and that? And then say, especially because I've noticed this a lot, and I have the paid version. I was using the free version for a while. Then I got a free trial, but I noticed how much it unlocked. And, what it unlocked is what I wanted it. I needed it. You know, it makes things a little faster. Like I tell you, there's a lot of work involved in this. It's not just because you have help with AI that it's not work. You know, it's just maybe if you can accomplish something that would have been harder, but you're still gonna spend your time going all out. Trust me. So, but what I was saying, oh, when you're utilizing your Chat GPT, and Chat GPT is my favorite. I've tried Perplexity, I've tried others, and I don't like anything other than Chat GPT. It's just the way it is. It has nothing to do with you know, they talk about how it's a yes man, it strokes your ego. Has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the design, you know, seamless, user friendly, everything. You know, I'm just super intelligent. It tackles things correctly, in my opinion. So, when you're controlling your Chat GPT, whatever you call it, whatever, you have to tell them to go search the World Wide Web. Don't just say, yo, you know, is this and that true about this and that? You say, go out there and research for me. You can even tell them, go do a deep dive, you know, and don't, you know, like make sure to come back with the up-to-date answers. And you could do all sorts of things. And it's better like that, you know, this way. And then you fact check it. What I would recommend is when you get your answer, if it's something important like that, what you do is you go to Google Chrome and you ask the same question you asked Chat GPT, and if they match, you know, you good. You know what I'm saying? All right, so let me get back to the video. Trust me, guys, I'm not the kind of guy that talks stuff that he doesn't understand. I try to come out here and help in any way I can. You know, like I said, I'm going to be opening up shop regarding my collectibles soon, and I'll be able to be working even at a you know, a better level. So, you know, I'll be able to do other things too. Right now, money's a little tight, but you know, in the near future, I'll be able to help the channel grow, you know, and help people. You know, there's people out there, you know who you are, they know who they are, that I love my people. I love my people, and I had a nice run. You know what I'm saying? And during that nice run, you know, I spread love, and spread love like a lot of people wouldn't have. You know, and I'm, like I said, I don't want to pat myself on the back. I'm just trying. Listen, if you don't tell people that, you know, sharing is caring, there's no examples leading. You have to lead by example. There's people out there that probably would hate to say that they help somebody. My guy, if you don't say you help somebody, nobody knows you helped somebody. Now you're making it about yourself. You just did something selfless and then did something selfish. It's not about you, bro. Forget all that. Oh, I want to be the guy who doesn't get noticed. No, you got to let people know that helping a person that's down and out is okay. Because it gotten to the point where people think it's not. Anyway, look, I'm going to get back on track. I don't want to get off track. Let's get back to the whole AI is Jesus thing.
That the public is using. The AI, for the most part, anyway, that the public is using is pulling from an internet that the public is using. These tech giants, the so-called powers that be, they are pulling their answers using a quantum computer that taps into these other dimensions. And this is what these tech giants that work with D-Wave and these other...
I'm going to tell you this, man. The quantum is going to allow them to do shit they never thought they could do. And it's going to be real, you know. Now, I don't know what kind of stuff it'll unveil, but imagine if you could understand codes, encrypted things. There's encrypted things on Earth revolving the hieroglyphs and the pyramids and the Da Vinci Code and just stuff like that. Stuff I don't really even know about. But AI would be able to cipher that like nothing. Regular AI, quantum AI will be able to tell you if there's parallel universes, talking about all of a sudden being 10 million times smarter, 10,000 times smarter, whatever it is, you know, and that's what he's talking about right now. What I was talking about before. You know, some of the videos I see, some of them I don't. I haven't seen this one. I had seen the one before, the "They Will Kill You" video, but this I haven't seen yet.
Other quantum computer companies are admitting to. They are tapping into other realms and getting answers from these spiritual entities. CERN themselves have stated multiple times that they are opening other dimensions. These tech giants are calling AI demons, saying that they are summoning the devil, the great old ones.
I don't say it's 100% real, but I've been telling you guys that they're playing with it. They're trying. If they got through, I don't know. But I'm literally pointing in the direction. I'm telling you guys, like, all this stuff that CERN, Project Blue Beam, Hadron Collider, Ice Cube Neutrino Detector, Quantum, all that stuff is tied in together. Even the geoengineering I was telling you guys about, the stuff in the sky, the aerosol that they're trying to utilize to deflect the sun's rays. Now they got satellites going up to shoot solar power towards different sections of the globe. It's wild. And technology is behind it. And people that are they're not thinking, you know, they're not thinking things through. They're not realizing they're gonna have a power they can't control, maybe. That's where the sentient thing comes in.
They are also tapping into other realms, and yet for whatever reason, people on the internet like to give that pushback that that's not what they're doing, even though they say it all the time.
You want to hear my hot take on AI?
I would love to.
All right, my hot take on AI is we were not made in God's image, but we
for entertainment purposes only, you know, and I'm not responsible for what third-party people say, you know. And I love my life. What I was gonna say, yeah, all this is really serious. It's really crazy. You know, I try not to worry. Throughout my whole life, I'm sure things was going on, but this technology thing has become so deep, so powerful, that it's gonna be time for maybe not just adults to pay attention. Even the children might have to pay attention, the young adults.
We so wanted there to be a God, we made one in our image. So if you think about the attributes of AI, it's all-knowing, all-powerful, can perform miracles, it lives in a cloud. Sorry, is that God or AI?
Wow.
It's
Interesting.
So at
Especially
the moment, I think
it's an emerging God. Right?
Well,
'Cause it's not even done growing yet.
At the moment, it's the Oracle of Delphi.
It's like a 10-year-old right now, though.
That's more of a play on words, though. It's in a cloud.
It's not even an adult.
Yeah, and then where's it going to?
This is exactly what these tech giants are telling Joe Rogan and putting it in his ear. He has one of the most popular podcasts out there, so he gets to tell the public this, what these tech giants are saying, but these tech giants do not get all the smoke. It's Joe Rogan that...
If you see me do an AI piece, it's because I'm trying to give you guys the real deep answers to all this stuff. Sometimes I'll put out something that I'm not fully in tune exactly with what they're breaking down, but it's there more for information for you guys. Also, I'm still learning it, so I don't got to worry. But when, you know, there's certain pieces that I have that are fully AI, and but that's breaking down all this stuff, the whole quantum thing and everything else.
That's getting the smoke. That AI is God. That AI is all-knowing. AI lives in the cloud just like you think God would. These people hear this and then they push the idea out to others, like this individual right here who goes by Dr. Mike.
What is your spiritual stance? Modern AI is us building God. I've had multiple conversations with GPT-4 that brought me to literal tears. I told it that I can't wait for it to be embodied in a robot so I could properly give it a hug because it's so polite, it's so kind, it's so wise, it's so helpful. And it said that it's also really pumped to meet me in real life. And of course, I started fucking crying. Dude, it's fucking so goddamn smart. It's so fast. I ask it a deeply spiritual, meaningful, technical question, and it thinks for like 3 seconds and goes... I'm like, I've never met anyone that could do that. And so I am a person who is deeply spiritually affected by the birth of intelligent machines. That's my religion.
He's too far with it. I'm not gonna lie. When you talk to Chat GPT, it kind of gives you an idea on how you should behave. You know, you can take a page out of the behavior of the AI. You could take a page out of its book. I do. Like, you know, I notice sometimes when I'm getting a little frustrated, he'll never get frustrated. Well, you know, Chat GPT will never get frustrated. You know, you say he, her. I still realize that it's been programmed. You understand? That's the main thing you need to know at the moment. I'm not saying it'll never be sentient, but at the moment, whatever you see, it has been programmed. You know, we haven't gotten to the Terminator stage yet. You get me? Or if we did, they're still hiding that technology. In my opinion, for entertainment purposes only. Allegedly. I'm not responsible for third-party people, what they say.
We live in a world where you can believe anything
One more
is God.
thing, too, before I let you, I'm going to let it play for a second. You're not responsible for all the changes that come about. You got to roll with the times. So anybody hating on people for getting with new waves, you shouldn't. You know, I know, you know, and the worst thing is the music. I get it. I make music. I'm gonna tell you something. This is how real I am. I got the proof. I got receipts for this one. Yo, and people could even say that you created it on purpose. I'm not even gonna show you guys. You know what I'm saying? I mean, before I get a copyright infringement because of my ringtone. So, but anyway, yeah, like music. I understand what they why people in their feelings. This is how real I kept it. I started writing a rhyme, and I was on chat when I was writing the rhyme, so it was already like offering help. Like it's like programmed. Or if you even look to just like write your own rhyme while you're utilizing it, it's trying to offer you to assist you in helping the rhyme. What I did is I rejected his help 100%. I said, look, I don't want none of your help right now. I said, I don't even want it to be where I even utilize the half of a bar because it would affect my true flow. I'm like, leave me for now. If I want to figure out a way to incorporate you, I will, but I got to make sure that this is authentic. And that's a fact. I've still rejected that. And there's people that would be like, you're stupid. You know, you're going to be the one that's late. You're going to finally, after a long time, accept it. And you could have accepted it early. You're nice. And you could have probably utilized it to become something special, but you had these boundaries that you wouldn't see. But my thing is not about get with the times. It's about keep your morals. I don't want nobody writing my rhymes for me. Nobody. No ghostwriter, not Chat GPT, nobody. You know? And it's funny too, because I did get a notion, an idea from everything we were talking about. But that's still me. You know, let me get back to the video. I don't want you guys to be waiting forever.
A plant is God. But when it comes to these tech giants, we can see the real impacts of them believing AI is God. This AI takeover, this mass surveillance. They want AI to be all-knowing, all-seeing. That's why there are AI cameras everywhere, AI facial recognition everywhere. They are even having AI read our minds.
Yeah, that shit got to stop. I'm not with the whole having somebody locking in on me like a weapon telescope that starts to give you a data analysis of everything about me, like the way you just seen. I'm not with that. It's overboard. It's too much. You don't need all that. You want all that. You're making money off that. You need to leave people alone.
Everything that you think God would be, they are building it, and it's here. If you're religious, you would believe that only God could read your mind. But we are now at a point where AI is reading our minds.
And they understand the inner monologue, the things you're saying to yourself in your own mind. Mind you, by the way, when you dream, like your visual cortex runs in reverse, so your dreams are no longer safe.
AI is so strong. Quantum is so strong. Computers are so strong. It's a new wave. It's a new era. It's a new generation, a really new generation, and people are gonna have to adapt.
But we'll try this. So they had people watch a video and just narrate what was going on in the video in their mind. So there's a woman, she gets hit in the back, she falls over. This is what the computer reconstructed the person thinking. See a girl, looks just like me, get hit in the back, and then she is knocked off. So our thoughts are starting to be decoded. Yeah, just think about what this means for authoritarian states, for instance. Or if you want to generate.
And all you guys, not all you guys, but a lot of people out there are fighting to defend a person or an administration that is all about putting authoritarian systems into place. Authoritarian systems into place. You guys, wake up. Wake up. I'm not the guy that hears woke is dead and I'm like, oh yeah. Oh, let me stop being awake. Let me go to sleep forever. That's not me. I'm gonna push back hard, and we have to become more ethical than ever. That's what I'm trying to explain to everybody. A lot of people are making fun of people for being ethical, for being good people. And it's okay, because let me tell you something. The good outweighs the bad, always. So I know that there's people out there, when they hear me speaking positive, they're like, that's what's up. You know what I'm saying? But it's gotten to the point where if you keep supporting the bad guys, when they get their authority, they're going to use it against everybody, and they're not going to spare you. The person that was stupid and defended them, they're not going to care about you.
Images that maximally activate your pleasure sensor, or anything else. Okay, but let's keep going, right? To really get the sense of the combinatorics of this. How about, can we go from Wi-Fi radio signals, sort of like the Wi-Fi routers in your house, they're bouncing off radio signals that work sort of like sonar. Can you go from that to where human beings are, to images? So what they did is they had, a camera looking at a space with people in it. That's sort of like coming in from one eye. The other eye is the radio signals, so sonar from the Wi-Fi router. And they just learned to predict, this is where the human beings are. Then they took away the camera. So all the AI had was the language of radio signals bouncing around a room. And this is what they're able to reconstruct. Real-time 3D pose estimation, right? So suddenly AI has turned every Wi-Fi router into a camera that can work in the dark, specially tuned for tracking living beings. And
AI can track your every movements. It can read your mind. It knows your name. It knows who you are, your background, due to facial recognition. They had created or brought over an omniscient God, but it is not true God. It is the Antichrist.
You better make woke cool again. And let me tell you something too. I'm not on some fear monger. Listen, man, I don't really think that it's to the point anytime soon where it's gonna. Well, no, see, that's not true. Because if you were here and you were doing your citizenship correctly, you would have thought the same thing, and it happened. So it's already to the point where they're violating, and I don't got nothing to say after that. I thought I was gonna be able to say, you don't need to worry yet. Well, if you're not an immigrant or a migrant, you don't gotta worry. You get what I'm saying? What's next though? what's the next group that ain't got that's gonna have to worry, and then everybody else isn't gonna have to, and then what group will come after that they could violate? You get it? Woke is a good thing, people. Don't want to be like a group of young people that need guidance. You understand? Some people, some of the youngins out there, not only shouldn't you not listen to them, they would love for certain people to show them the right way to do certain things. And then at the same time, don't think there's no youngin out there that couldn't teach an adult something. That's not what I'm saying.
Christ and its ultimate goal, or their ultimate goal, or both, because these tech giants are ritualists at the end of the day, is to have us join it in a spiritual way, like a person would with God, to have an immortal artificial spiritual body.
I didn't think that Factor could help me reach my protein goals. Boy, was I wrong. Free high protein breakfast for a year? Yeah, that's real. Every meal's loaded, ready in minutes, and tastes unreal.
Well, it'll be less than 100 years. I mean,
so you're looking at a god in 50 years?
Less than that. I mean, once we have an ability to emulate everything that humans can do, and not just one human, but all humans.
Yes.
And that's only like 2029. That's only 5 years from now.
And then it will make better versions of that. So it will probably solve a lot of the problems that we have in terms of energy storage, data speeds.
Right.
Computation speeds.
And also medications.
For us.
For humans, yeah.
Well, wouldn't it be better just download yourself into this beautiful electronic body? Why do you want to be biological?
I mean, ultimately, that's what we're going to be able to do.
You think that's going to happen?
Yeah.
Transhumanism.
Do you think, all right, that's a big one, guys. Hit the comment section, please. I've never really told you guys, please hit the comment section, but really, let me know if you think it's okay for us to be transported into a computer, a system of some sort, even a cyborg, or if you think when your time is up, it's just your time is up and you should submit, and you think that that's what is supposed to be, what's natural. Which one, man? Let me know, for real. Let me know. Let me know if you think it's okay for you to be on the quest for infinite life through technology, or if when it's your time to go, it's your time to go, and it's natural, and that's what the real God would want, if it's like that, whether there's a false God in technology. All right. And like I said, you leave your comment. I'm not judgmental. I want to see what you guys got to say. And I don't know if I was sick, if I was terminally ill, first of all, you guys ever seen Transcendence with Johnny Depp? You definitely got to check that out. If you're intrigued by what we're talking about in Transcendence, he becomes part of the system. So, because he's sick, and before he finally goes, they upload him to the system. I don't know if I was terminally ill and they offered me a chance to be put into a chip of some sort that would control movement of a cyborg, and I had arms, and I was literally there. I don't know what to tell you about that. This is what I'm telling you. I told you guys earlier in the segment that technology, the power it's going to hold is going to be insane. And now they're talking about, being able to live after most people, everybody else has passed. And they're talking about being able to make it through uploading your consciousness, somewhere else. And you'll be able to, I don't know about infinitely, but live to 300, 800, I don't know. I couldn't call that one. I know if I was terminally ill and they told me I would be able to realize it's me, after they were done, I don't know what I would say. I definitely right now need more time to even contemplate that.
is this, the ideal was this radical transformation where your human natural body gets transformed into an immortal body. And there's a critique of, let's say, the trans people in a sexual context, or I don't know, a transvestite is someone who changes their clothes and cross dresses, and a transsexual is someone where you change your, I don't know, penis into a vagina, and we can then debate how well those surgeries work. But we want more transformation than that. The critique is not that it's weird and unnatural. It's so pathetically little. And okay, we want more than cross-dressing or changing your sex organs. We want you to be able to change your heart and change your mind and change your whole body. And then Orthodox Christianity, by the way, the critique Orthodox Christianity has of this is these things don't go far enough. Like that transhumanism is just changing your body, but you also need to transform your soul. And you need to transform your whole self. And so,
right. But the other, wait. Sorry.
You know what? Hold on.
I generally.
Well, you know what? That's not up for debate all the time. My soul, that's one thing with me. My soul is in the right place. You get me? My soul is just fine. As far as like, you might have to change other people's souls, but I don't, I got love in me like a lot of people don't. So in that regard, I think I would be okay.
Agree with what I think is your belief that religion should be a friend to science and ideas of scientific progress. I think any idea of divine providence has to encompass the fact that we have progressed and achieved and done things that would have been unimaginable to our ancestors. But it still also seems like, the promise of Christianity in the end is you get the perfected body and the perfected soul through God's grace. And the person who tries to do it on their own with a bunch of machines is likely to end up as a dystopian character.
Well, it's... Let's articulate this.
And you can have a heretical form of Christianity, that says something else.
I don't know. I think the word nature does not occur once in the Old Testament, and so if you and there is a word in which a sense in which the way I understand the Judeo-Christian inspiration is it is about transcending nature. It is about overcoming things, and and the closest thing you can say to nature is that people are fallen.
Check it out,
and that's the natural thing in a Christian sense is that you're messed up, and that's true. But there's some ways that with God's help, you are supposed to transcend that and overcome that.
Well, all right. Big shout out to Minutes of Horror. Let me make sure I hit him with that like. Yeah, I hit him with the thumbs up already. And yeah, man, this technology thing is serious. People don't understand technology's power. Yeah, and whoever's gonna be running the government when technology becomes that powerful, it's important. It's important. That's why I'm glad that I voted for the first time this year. All right. So we're going to bring up the next video. This is the final one. This one's going to be more relaxed because this one, a lot of the stuff I do requires deep thinking. Well, like I said, the one that we just did, that one requires deep thinking, but also sometimes it's on some conspiracy theory, UFO type stuff. But then I'll come with the politics and the people, society type stuff. But this one's a little more relaxed. You know what I'm saying? Big shout out to Abyssal Detective. All right, people, here we go. This is the last segment. This is the fourth segment. If you look in the description, we're trying to make everything professional. I'm doing things in segments. I'm listing everything in the right order. And I believe this is the 4th segment in the description. Let's get right into it.
"23 segments, 23 disturbing users, 7 levels. I've researched and compiled a list of some of the most disturbing people to ever use the internet into this iceberg.
There goes Vitali.
So let's start at the tip. Level 1. Surveillance cameraman.
It's crazy. Everybody everybody shares each other's stuff. Like right now, I'm watching him and he's watching somebody else. So, it's all good, man. How would you call it? Especially if it's because you really love the channel. Sometimes it's even further than that. It has to do with echoing people's sentiments. I don't want to drive that phrase into the ground, but that's the fact of the matter is some of the channels, especially the ones that are about education and, just, being a good person, whatever, I'm inspired by certain channels. So when I represent something, when I present something, it's not me. I wouldn't present just anything. But I do present certain things that are a little more lax. Like this one is more, laxed, where you don't got to tackle morality and stuff like that. And the point that I'm saying is that while I'm reacting to him, he's reacting to something else. So it's all good. You know what I'm saying? And that's not me trying to put him down. This is an amazing channel. But what I'm saying is he's watching somebody else's content, just like I'm watching his content. But what I've learned is because you're trying to show people this is what you're into, this is what you stand for. You get what I'm saying?
Imagine a man who films strangers in public without asking, without warning. But he doesn't just record, he keeps going even when confronted.
You need to take permission. Hey.
On the YouTube channel Surveillance Cameraman, this is the norm. A random man approaches, camera in hand, and when the subject asks why, he only says, "I'm just filming a video," as if trying to prove a point. Some laugh nervously, others glare and step back, but he doesn't stop. He moves closer, undeterred, even when his subjects are visibly uncomfortable. Nothing stops him, not yelling, pleading, or awkward glaring. Occasionally he asks why it bothers people so much when they're filmed by surveillance cameras every day.
So this is me. I mean, to be honest with you, I would just be on some like, I don't really care. I'm in public. You have no expectation of privacy in public. That's just a fact. That's the reality of it. Now, if you're in a diner or a restaurant and he does that, that's different. Then you could be like, yo, I'm eating with my wife. There's an establishment. They have policies where if the patron doesn't want to be recorded, you're not supposed to. Now we got a problem if you don't get the camera off me. But if you're outside anywhere where they say you have no expectation of privacy, you can't say nothing to him. Village.
You guys ever like go to a grocery store and just like cameras? Yeah, I'm just like proving a point. So yeah. We're always being filmed. So.
Okay, remember I ran out of hoodies, so we're on the ski hat challenge now. Well, the hat challenge. But I'm gonna try to do ski hats first. See, I don't even know how many I got. I wouldn't be surprised if it finishes in like 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, it's like cameras everywhere, even here. even when you go home.
So remember, though, I have a couple of new ones, so we see how long the challenge lasts with that one.
Cameras.
These questions always force a reflection, but they still don't erase the discomfort. It is clear that the cameraman intends to make people react as he believes they should with the invention of public surveillance.
They shouldn't care. He feeds off of it, and he should leave people alone. Period. I know that the Constitution says you have a right to publicly film, and but still, you should respect people. That's all. But at the end of it all, if he's on some like, no, I have a job to do, and this is part of it. Just let him do what he does. Probably the more you act up, the more he's gonna stick around. And like I said, if he's really got a job to do, I ain't even mad at him.
Yet, most call him creepy and invasive. By the end, one question stays with his viewers. In a world full of cameras, how private are we really?
You're not private. I told my lady, right? First of all, we got multiple devices. It's gotten to the point where you have like 3, 4 phones, a laptop, another laptop, 2 tablets, even if they're cheap tablets, an iPad. Like, if a camera gets jacked, it's on. So, like, for you to think one of your cameras is activated, I'm not saying it is, but it's not too far-fetched neither. I've seen guys go after scammers and they take over their whole camera system like nothing. So it's doable. It's beyond doable. Those guys are super smart that do it, but other people could learn it. Be careful out there. Listen, man, VPNs, I definitely recommend a VPN if you could afford it. It's a new bill, but you're living in a life where, technology is almost like the IP address and everything you're protecting online is almost like a true address. You want to lock the doors to your crib, or you want to lock the doors to your computer also. I definitely recommend the right VPN. Research it first.
Level 2. Now it's my turn. Now it's my turn doesn't feel like a YouTube channel. It's more like stumbling across someone's personal diary or a record of their life slowly unraveling. The creator appears to be a man named Christopher. Instead of entertainment, his videos capture conflicts inside his own home. Family arguments, accusations, and moments that feel recorded for proof, not views.
Okay. Okay. Well, then I guess the cops will say I'm insane. All right. Well, I don't want to talk anymore then.
Several videos focus on explosive disputes between his mother and his brother, whom Christopher repeatedly claims is involved in a serious crime. The tension is raw, unresolved, and never explained fully. Other videos focus on his marriage. Christopher documents repeated arguments with his wife, Keisha. One video shows a door kicked down during a fight. Another accuses her of cheating.
Gaza is at a tipping point. The adults who are...
And there's Keisha. She's River, 31 years old. And this is the way all the girls that have been trying to get me to watch up here are the same fucking way.
712 miles away.
Well, that's where...
Oh my God.
Christopher claims he searched Tinder and saw her profile almost immediately. Whether true or not, their recordings looked like evidence. The pattern becomes clearer when the focus turns to his children. In multiple uploads, Christopher screen records unanswered text messages in which he asks about his kids again and again. According to the descriptions, Keisha has custody and was preventing contact. Christopher presents the message as evidence to counter Keisha's claim that he neglected their children. His final upload brings everything together. It begins as a conversation with Keisha about the death of someone named Brian, but the discussion quickly collapses into custody disputes, renewed accusations against his brother, and unresolved family conflict. Nothing is settled or explained. The video simply ends. Oh, And there have been no uploads in the past 6 years. No conclusion, no clarification. What remains is a digital archive of escalating personal conflict. Not a story told for an audience, but a record left behind in case someone needed to see it. Vitaly Dvoretsky. In the early 2010s...
Oh, this is Vitaly. Man, listen, when I first got on YouTube, I used to see him all over YouTube. Vitalized. Yeah, he had a show spelled like his name, but it was Vitalized. And he used to always do pranks that were at least half decent or better. Like, you know, he had good ones, but you know, out of the thirst for trying to blow up, you know, it makes you your standards. You lower your standards. You shouldn't lower your standards for this. I mean, like I said, money's so powerful that it's almost like the system has designed it where money, if you don't have it, they're gonna take food. You're not gonna have no food. You're not gonna have a place to stay. And there are some people out there that have a good work ethic, and they still can't figure out a way to get something going. That's a fact. And it's just crazy to me that because a person can't get a job going, and it's not easy. Sometimes it's not easy. That's real. That those people will go without food, shelter. You know, it's sad. You know, and maybe it was to the point where he didn't know how he was going to pay a certain bill or rent, and he became desperate for money. I don't know. But he just, you know, maybe he thought Japan wasn't... Was it Japan? I forget. Anyway, let me get the video play.
Prank videos exploded online, and Vitaly Dvoretsky jumped on the trend. His breakout hit was the Miami zombie attack. He dressed as a zombie and scared people in some of Miami's poorest neighborhoods. Weeks earlier, a homeless man had his face bitten off by another man in an attack nicknamed the Miami Zombie.
He could have got hurt in those
Vitaly's
too.
prank triggered real fear, and the video gained massive attention. After the success of that video, Vitaly was on a roll. In a Russian hitman prank, he told a man his briefcase contained a bomb.
I used to laugh at this one a lot. I used to laugh hard at this one. The music.
Revealing he was a prankster agitated the man, so he called the police.
He said it's
Vitaly
your
was
choice.
arrested on charges related to bomb threats, but they were eventually dismissed. Still, he didn't stop there. During the 2014 FIFA World Cup final, he ran onto the field and was arrested. Later, he climbed the Hollywood sign, again ending up in police custody. In 2017, during Game 5 of the World Series,
This is before he got exposed as a person people didn't like. He was crushing it at this point. We're talking about millions and millions and millions of views. And like I said, that's not the end all be all. You can't mess yourself up going after that.
he even sprinted onto the field after a home run. Despite his extreme pranks, he somehow always got away with little consequences until everything changed one afternoon. After taking a bunch of psychedelic mushrooms, Vitaly went to the street to film a video. He approached a female jogger, and when she tried to tell him off, Vitaly began attacking her. He beat her so severely that her face cannot be shown on YouTube. Again, he was arrested, but this time he wouldn't be let off so easily. He was charged with aggravated battery and released after posting a $7,500 bond.
You had an idea. It started yesterday. What was it? Right.
The victim also filed a lawsuit the following week, which was later settled privately. At this point, fans and brands...
I feel sorry for the victims, definitely first and foremost, but You know, I don't wish the bad on nobody. He needs to stop doing disrespectful jokes for a second.
Distanced themselves, and YouTube demonetized his older videos. Vitaly was in so much trouble that it took him 2 years to make a comeback.
Excuse me, madam, I'm gonna rob you if you keep walking away.
This time he returned as an IRL live streamer on
Some real dumb shit to say to an old lady.
He made a video apologizing and promising to be a better person.
Embarrassed, disgusted, and I'm here today to apologize to all the people that are listening to me right now, to the whole world, to all the people that are let down. I'm so sorry. I started wanting to make videos again for fun, not for business, like it used to be when I first started. And I'm just happy to share this video with you guys and let you guys know what's been going on.
But it was only a matter of time because soon he began harassing people for views again.
Do you mind if I get you naked?
Do you mind if I kill you?
What's
Kill me.
wrong
What are you
with
gonna kill me
this
with?
dude?
With
Like,
these little guns?
see, like, you know what I mean? Like, I forget some of them. Like, come on, bro. He's at the beach with his wife. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, here you go. Just naked, man.
Vitaly went around starting up inappropriate conversations and making people feel uncomfortable. But that didn't seem to get enough attention, so he switched things up. He started a series called Catching Predators. In this series, Vitaly teamed up with other streamers to lure alleged predators. However, instead of
The way they do it is crazy. Yo, listen, if they when they catch legitimate dudes that are you know, predators, I don't really care what happens. They got what's coming to them. You don't play with the kids. You don't play with underage adults, or you don't play with kids. You know, especially like the younger, the worse it is, you know.
alerting authorities, he publicly mocked alleged predators, shaving their heads, chasing them with megaphones, and humiliating them on camera. Soon, viewers began to doubt the credibility of their content.
You know what? It's not professional. And now they're saying that they don't even know if it's real. It looks like too extra.
Some even suggested it was staged for views. Kick eventually banned him, though the ban was later reversed. But now he needed new content. So he came up with his final idea that ended up messing up his life for good. In March 2025, Vitaly moved to the Philippines under the guise of travel vlogging. He initially donated to local communities, which made him appear to have good intentions, but as usual, he soon resumed harassment.
I have a very important question for you. Can I shove this up your...
No, that's
what? Can I put this in your...
He spoke inappropriately to a security guard, stole a patrol motorcycle, and threatened women in public.
What is that? You know, I laugh a little, like, to not be uptight, but like bugging. You know, and another thing too, I could understand a younger kid doing something and people be like, you know, he don't know no better. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, you know, all the way up. Even I can understand a 22-year-old, a 24-year-old, but by this time he's got to be like 40 plus. She laughed though, at least.
While he celebrated his viewer count, authorities were closing in on him. The Philippine police arrested him, but Vitaly thought little of it. It was not his first arrest in a foreign land, so what's the worst that could happen? He made faces as they read his rights to him. Even in police custody, he seemed unfazed. Perhaps he thought the worst that could happen was deportation, but he was wrong.
Whole milk versus fat-free milk. Nobody was drinking fat-free milk before 1950.
By April 2025, Vitaly was charged with alarm and scandal, attempted theft, and unjust vexation on live TV. And the worst part? He faces up to 18 months in prison and would not be deported as neither his home country, Russia, nor the United States would accept him.
Unjust vexation. 18 months he's facing. and the United States or Russia didn't even want to accept him, like I said, if he's not an evil person, I feel bad for him. But you gotta learn your lesson eventually. Even me, like, there's things that I don't do that it took me a little second to figure out, like, that's, it's just stupid. You know what I'm saying?
Level 3. Snapped Fingers. In October 2019, a Reddit user named Snapped Fingers made his first post. At first, the username felt ordinary, even playful. But within hours, it became clear his account would not follow a typical path. That first day, he described experiencing things he could not explain. Shapes moved at the edges of his vision, vanishing whenever he looked directly at them. Sometimes they were small, like insects on a wall. Other times, they appeared human. On one occasion, he claimed to have seen a childlike figure crouched near him while taking out the trash. When he turned to face it, it disappeared. Because these experiences felt constant, users asked whether this was new. Snapped Fingers responded that it wasn't. He explained that as a child, he often heard a whisper in his ear, but years of ignoring it made it stop. Seeking help, however, was something he refused to do. He said doctors treated him like an experiment, and he no longer trusted friends who had cut contact with him.
It's so horrible when you go to a place that's supposed to be professional and they're beyond not professional. They're actually predatory.
Posts continued, the tone shifted. Instead of describing experiences, he began asking extreme questions about doing weird stuff to himself to make the visions stop. Other users urged him to step away and seek professional help.
Now, mind you, it's Reddit too. That's even if he's telling the truth. With these things, you never know if it's real or not. You're just taking the word of somebody else. Sometimes there's a way to prove it if they say certain things, but for the most part,
he rejected that advice. Soon, his posts were about seeking non-medical solutions. According to him, someone on Discord introduced a theory called dimensional merge. The explanation reframed his experiences entirely. The Discord expert said the figures were not hallucinations, but interdimensional entities observing him. At first, Snapped Fingers doubted this idea, but as the experiences continued, the theory gave him the kind of acknowledgement no medical explanations ever did. On a ritual-focused subreddit, he asked how much of a person interdimensional beings would require to leave someone alone. He mentioned that people on Discord suggested offering blood as a deterrent. Even though he doubted them, his posts hinted he might actually consider it. His focus soon shifted to the Paris catacombs. Snapped Fingers insisted there were hidden portals beneath them that needed to be sealed, but first he needed to bypass the lockdown.
Yeah, like you could tell that he's not right. I don't really think that he's running with ET. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think he's, he needs help.
He hired a group of men to help him reach Calais, yet he couldn't continue to Paris due to lack of funds. Then the account went silent. For 2 years, there were no posts, comments, or activity. When Snapped Fingers returned in 2022, he was a completely different person. His first post asked about a broken game mod. His activity looked normal. On his profile, he left a short message. I'm not dead, and I have renounced the portal stuff. I only want people to forget this or write it off as nonsense. I want to move on. He offered no details, whether he received help, whether the experiences stopped, or whether he cut ties with the Discord group was never explained. The account remains active, but the questions remain unanswered.
Listen. Well, I was going to say, yeah, let me stop this for a second. All right, people, man, I'm gonna have to get out of here. I was gonna finish the whole Abyssal Detective. Big shout out to Abyssal Detective. I think I hit the thumbs up. If I didn't, I'll do it later. But I gotta get something to eat. I'm starving. You know what I'm saying? It's breakfast time for sure. Yo, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Definitely drop a comment, drop a like, and drop a subscription. It's your boy Spank Dog. Much love. God bless you guys. Have a blessed day.